There we go. Oh, turn that off. Hello, hello. There we go. We had a few technical difficulties here. Good to see everybody. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Type a yes in the chat if you guys can see me and hear me. Yes. Okay, there you are. All right, now it's looking good. Yes and yes. All right, we were live somewhere else. Brigham, he's going to keep working on it for me. But good to see y'all. How you guys doing? You guys are on early. This is awesome. That's why we come on early to test stuff out. This is totally 100% live, just so you're aware. So we hopefully won't have too many hiccups, but it should be a fun call today. So welcome in. Good to see everybody. If you can, type in where you're calling in from. Love to hear where everyone's at. I am in Salt Lake City, Utah. So type in where you're calling in from. And make sure, by the way, when you type in, it goes to everyone, not just hosts and panelists, but make sure it goes to everyone. And type it in here. Okay, DC from Casey. All right, Kansas City, UK. Everyone's using acronyms. Okay, you have to, I don't know all your acronyms of DFW, Dallas Fort. I know some of these, but like some of you guys are throwing out like Bozeman, Montana. If you would have said I'm from, what's the acronym for Bozeman? Is it BZ? BZM? See, I wouldn't have known. Okay, so what's up, everybody? All right, California, Denver. Is in California, is it actually like a crazy hurricane? I've heard both. I've heard like at the end of the world hurricane is coming, Hurricane Hillary, but I've also heard that it's actually not that big of a deal as well. So I don't know. What do you make of that? That's what I want to know. Is it actually that bad? My people in California, what are you guys seeing? All right, I'm gonna test while you're answering that question for me. I'm gonna throw some slides up. Let me know if you guys can see them. Okay. Here we go. All right, give me a yes if y'all can see that. Hello, hello. Yeah. Boom. Okay, I'm going to play a few videos here, and we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, let me know, but it should get working here. You guys ready? People on Discord, by the way, if you're watching on Discord or YouTube or somewhere else, come over to the Zoom call. There should be a link down below. That's kind of where the action will all be happening. I'm going to be sharing my screen and stuff. So if you guys are watching other platforms, come over to Zoom. It should be pretty fun. All right, let me see if this works here. Here we go. And you can kill my video and sound for now.
wanted just to rewrite history, cause I'm in the mood to label us the leaders of the new school. This ain't for the radio, can't find this on YouTube. This the type of killing that these critics ain't used to. Victorious, victorious, victorious. In this day and age, I got time for innovation, time to be creative, time too big to waste on my time on critics hating, flattered by your opinions to show you I'll just embrace it. Now watch a early sunrise up, no daylight savings, go nuts when I have to. Glaze bet my sound in this beats on the house that we dreaming. Watch me way back up in the castle, my thoughts are distorted, cause I recall guys were hating uncommonly, all of them became common denominators. Hold up, try to overlook a rival, all eyes on me cause I got no competition. Now looking at an idol, your dough ain't long enough to pay for my attention. Man, it's the gospel for the black sheep, I guess it got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league, so all of you mother can sing to it. I was born to be victorious, most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Through all I hate, the display to remain warriors. I was born to be victorious, most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Avoided by the statistics, occasionally we'll quit it. Pay reality visits, but it was too hard to live it. Built up my confidence and delivered. Now I be burning these critics, cause they ain't know they was walking their course while burning their bridges. Hold up, man, whoever thought I'd be rapping? The family ain't never think that can happen. Matter of fact, only person that ever pushed me to get out was my mother, and the only reason was cause I contractions. Heard that karma's the chick that you put a ring on, and by the looks at your life, guess she's a Klingon. It's on me, dudes had they lead on the board, but games change over time, so I even the score. Youngest bet it up, learn how to step it up, recipe chefed it up, set it up, city they wrapped enough, giving the rest to us, going off, so of course, maybe we're shown or throwing it off, treating it like it's
What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. You can throw me the spotlight on there. It'd be great. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. We're gonna have a fun call today. We've got 3 fund managers coming live. Actually, 4 fund managers. We have a bonus coming on live today. We're gonna be walking through all Q4 updates, what's going on in the markets, what we're seeing. It's gonna be a different call. You guys have heard some of our previous calls before to talk about funds. This one's gonna be more about markets, like what's happening right now. A few things that we've never shared before publicly. It should be pretty fun. Also, additionally, you cannot buy anything on this call, just so you are aware, okay? This is not here like, like make you guys buy something. This is just to help our community and help more people out, okay? So with that, we're gonna play a few more videos. We gotta get a couple things behind the scenes set up here, but it should be a very fun call today. If you can, start chatting in the chat. If you can type in for me where you guys are calling in from, type in what industry you're in. So what do you guys are doing? Real estate? Give us like a 1 or 2 sentence. Maybe you'll meet somebody in the chat that you can do business with. So type in the chat what kind of business you're into right now. What are you doing? And maybe what area of the country you're in, and potentially you'll meet somebody maybe in the same city as you or somewhere else. We have a lot of people joining today. I think we have about 600 or 700 people registered. We usually, when we have that many registrants, we usually actually get more because we do a final call, like everyone can join. We are expecting to have a big group on today. We'll see how many show up. It should be pretty fun. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn my camera off for a few more minutes, and then we are going to just roll some videos, and we'll start in just a few minutes. So see you guys in there in a minute. Make sure, by the way, last thing, chat to everyone. So chat to not just hosts and panelists, but to everyone, so everyone can see your chat. And then people on Discord as well, or on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you guys watch this, if you want to click the link down below and join the Zoom room, it's kind of where the party's happening, is on Zoom, but you're still welcome to watch wherever you're at, but it's a little bit better on Zoom, in my opinion. So, okay, with that, we'll kill the camera, and then we'll play a few more videos. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
this memory, making history. Let's go. You don't need no luck with that golden touch. Time to light it up. Let's go. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! 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 Yeah, this is it. Go! Go! Let's go! Yeah, this is it.
What's going on, people? Hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Welcome to the webinar today. We're gonna be starting at just the top of the hour, so we got 2 more minutes to let people in. But while we're doing that, hit that poll for me if you can. I'm curious, how many people is this your first time ever coming on a live call with me? Second time, third time, fourth time, or fifth? I think we put on here. I've been on every call since Bridger was born. So if you're one of those people, type that in. That'll give me a good sense though of who's on the call. So you guys can hit that poll. I'm going to close it up in, I don't know, like 8 seconds here. So hit that poll really quick. It should pop up on your little thing if you're on Zoom. If you're not on Zoom, by the way, if you're on Discord or somewhere else, come over to Zoom. That's kind of where the party's happening. But this should be a very fun call. But look at this, 60% of people, it's your first time ever hopping on. So welcome in, you guys. Good to have y'all. 12 second time, 8% is kind of toggling around. 8% is your third time, fifth, and then 17% of people have been on every call since I was born. So wow, that seems a little, I don't know, a little intrusive is almost what it seems. But 21 of you have been on every call since I was born. I love it. Hit that. Okay, I'm going to close it up. So hit that poll really quick. Click that poll. I think it's, oh, sorry, we didn't title it correctly. It's just called Untitled Poll. So sorry about that. It wasn't titled correctly. If you can't tell, this is a live call today. But once we get started, we're going to go fast. We're going to dive in. Today, we're talking about, we're actually having three different fund managers come on live. I'm going to skip through. Here's our intro slides. We're actually having 3 fund managers come on live today. Actually 4. We have a bonus coming on to talk about what they're seeing going into kind of the end of the year. Q3, Q4, what they're looking at going into the end of the year. And they all are coming from different asset classes. So we have a fund manager that's a hedge fund manager. 2 fund managers coming on that do $135 million hotel portfolio. Pretty cool. Another fund manager that manages 1,200 multifamily units. Be very interesting to hear what they're doing. And then I'm actually going to give you my update as well. 8-figure crypto hedge fund manager as well. So for me and my fund, what we're doing, kind of what we're seeing going into the year right now, we have the Bitcoin halving happening next March is kind of the predicted Bitcoin halving. And so that's kind of where it's at. All right, I'm going to end poll here. Here we go. I'm ending the poll. If you guys didn't hit it, you didn't hit it. So share results. You guys can see the results of the poll. But yeah, today's going to be a very fun call. We're going to go fast. We're going to get into it and have a lot of fun. This is actually going to be unlike other calls we've done before. You know, usually we get on here. And by the way, so we're going to have these 3 fund managers come on. I'm going to, after we're going to open up Q&A. I'll sit here and talk. I got the whiteboard here. I've got a drink. I got a Red Bull. So I'm feeling really good right now. I usually don't drink energy drinks, but like webinar days, I'll have like a little, like the smallest Red Bull you can buy, like the little one. And it just hypes me up, man. I have like half a Diet Coke and I am just lit for the whole day. So, that's the plan for today. Does that sound good? You guys cool with that? Give me like a booyah in the chat if that sounds like a good plan. Now, before I dive in though, I want to actually hear, give me a booyah in the chat though. Give me a booyah. I'd love to hear it. Now, while we get started, just kind of some ground rules. Psychologists tell us that if you show up to a webinar like this and you're checking your email and you're, on your phone, watching Twitter, whatever, you will remember about 0% of this webinar. 0. Now, if you actually sit and pay attention and do, you're taking notes, which I highly encourage you to do, that number jumps from 0 to about 3 to maybe 6% of this entire call you will remember long-term, which is still pretty low. Okay. Now, if you use your body, your voice, if you're actively engaged, you will remember about 12 to even 20%. It jumps like crazy if you're involved and you're active. So as we're talking, if you've never been on a call with me before, I will ask you to type stuff in the chat. I will ask you to, we do giveaways and do fun things. And it's I guess it's fun to do, but more so, I really value your time. If you're going to come on a call like this, I think that's one of the most important things is to value someone's time. Time is the one asset that we can never get back. And so if you're going to come and give me some time on a call like this, or us some time on a call like this to our community, I'm going to make sure it's very valuable for you. And I want to make sure that you're getting out what you put in. Does that sound good? So who's good with me to get from, maybe 0% up to maybe 12 to 20%? Yeah. If you're with me, type a 1 in the chat. If you're with me. Okay. Type a 1 in the chat. Now I'm going to do this to help us be all engaged. And I promise you that it's not going to be fluffy. It's not going to be one of those webinars where they just talk about nothing. Like, we want to give you guys actual real things that work hard. And that's why we actually have 4. We had a 4th coming. Four fund managers today talking about Q4, what's going on in the markets and what they're seeing. Okay. I love the ones coming in. All right. Set a little bit of a ground rules. Additionally, welcome. If you're your first time, welcome to the Wall Street community, Wall Street Rebel community. This is what we'll talk about that in a minute and what we're looking at and all this kind of stuff. I've got a few announcements, fun things we're going to get going. But with that, I think let's get rolling. What do you guys think? We feeling good behind the scenes? Good. If you guys are last call, if you're on Discord or YouTube or Facebook watching this, come over to the Zoom room. It's kind of where the party's happening, and come on in here. Sound good? All right. With that, let's dive in. Okay. So today we're going to talk about Q4 update with 3 fund managers. Results disclaimer. First thing is what we are sharing is not financial or legal advice. This is just our personal opinions. This is just what we do for fun. We're just kind of sharing ideas. Okay. Should not be construed as financial advice. Sound good? So everyone put your hand in the air with me and say, I am disclaimed. All right. All you're disclaimed. All right. I don't want any lawsuit coming 6 months from now because Bridger told me to short or go long, whatever. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Okay. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, I'm not here to talk about myself, but I think it's good to just know my background, where I'm from. So this is a quick summary of who I am, what I've done. I started Blackbridge Holdings when I was 22 years old. I had a crazy story with my dad. I didn't know my dad had money. He co-founded a deca-billion-dollar family of funds. It's maybe a story for a different webinar. Had no idea. My dad drove a crappy car with a dent in the door. Incredible dude. How many of you guys heard my dad speak on stage at Fund Launch Live? Wasn't it phenomenal? From John Pennington. Incredible dude. Helped me kind of think through my fund. I pitched my dad for money to put money in. He says no, but he said, I'm going to teach you how to go out and raise money. So I raised my first little micro fund. It was $49,000. My first little fund I started when I was 22 years old. It actually did very well. We got a 64% return on our first group of investors right there. You can see. And then from there, we launched our second fund. Our second fund actually grew significantly. We raised and deployed millions of dollars out of that fund. We ran that for about 3.5 years. I actually had a competitor come and buy that fund from me. So we actually exited that fund, made a pretty good exit on that, which was really cool. During that time period, a lot of people started to ask me, my dad, and actually my brother who you saw here. This is my brother. He's an investment funds attorney and now actually launching a brand new fund. They've got hundreds of millions of dollars in commitments right now for their fund. They're blowing up. They're doing really well. We started to make content online for funds, for people that wanted to learn about funds. We saw this huge gap that, like, because none of us went to Harvard, none of us worked on Wall Street, none of us were Ivy League people, but yet we were in this amazing space of investment funds, of private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, real estate funds. And we wanted to help more people like us, our community of people, learn about this game. And so we started Fund Launch, which is crazy. We have now 60,000 people that have gone through one of our courses. We just had a 2,000 person live event. I'll share a video in a minute about that. 130 funds launched last year out of our group. So actually our whole group, our top group called Black Card, which is pretty cool. Anybody in Black Card, by the way, if you're in Black Card, type in Black Card in the chat, just so I know if you guys are on here. I know we do live calls with you guys every single day. Oh yeah, a bunch of people on here. Joseph, good to see you. Oh wow, a lot of people in Black Card. Lena, Kaden, what's up? Michael, good to see y'all. Okay, you guys can vouch. Black Card, I think, is pretty awesome. The goal of Black Card is to like launch your whole fund. Like we hold your hand through the process. We have a legal team that comes and launches the fund with you. We have a pitch deck designer. We have 15 coaches that like sit down and like walk you through the process to launch. So last year we launched 130 funds out of Black Card, which is just Black Card alone. That's not our other stuff, just Black Card, which is insane. We have one student fund over $1 billion. Excuse me, that's supposed to be a B there. 12 student funds over 100 million and 54 student funds over $10 million that are reported. Those are just the reported funds. We have a lot of funds that haven't reported, but pretty cool. Fund Launch is awesome. I also currently run Ugly Unicorn. It's a hedge fund. We raised $10 million in our initial launch. We've actually done very well in the crypto winter, where we'll talk about crypto in a minute during the Q&A if you guys want to. Right now, we've actually been preparing for this dip. Right now, we're buying up a ton of juicy buys. And I look over the next 30 to 45 days, we think there's going to be a lot of good buys in crypto, which will be fun. And then finally, Black Card Capital Partners, me and Link and a couple of partners are on this. We actually now have portfolio funds that come in and we work with. So now we currently have 8 portfolio funds that we actually are partners with and help them, whether it's, getting legal done or taxes or capital, whatever it is, we help them. We try to act like partners with them in the fund, which is kind of cool. All right. So I give you a little background on me. We've now helped quite a few funds. We're looking BCCP or Black Card Capital Partners. We're looking to get that to about 15 to 20 funds that'll be portfolio funds over the next about 12 months, which is pretty cool. So if you guys want to work with us, send me a message. We can talk. All right, this is me on socials, by the way. If you guys want to go check out other stuff, we have a ton of free content. Our goal is to we just want to help more people launch and scale funds. So go check us out here. Now, that's enough about me. All right, let's talk about us. Okay, let's talk about our community and what we're doing. This is Fund Launch Live number 1. Who came to Fund Launch Live number 1? Type a 2 in the chat if you guys were at Fund Launch. Actually, that's kind of dumb. Type a 1 in the chat if you were at Fund Launch Live number 1. Okay, give me a 1 in the chat if you were at Fund Launch Live number 1. This was crazy. We started this company. We had no idea how many people would want to learn about funds. We had 1,200 people show up live, which is insane. We sold out our first event, which is wild. Okay, a bunch of you guys were there at Fund Launch Live number 1. It was amazing at Las Vegas, but it was really cool. We then threw Fund Launch Live number 2. So type a 2 in the chat if you were at Fund Launch Live number 2. This was in Miami, Florida, just a few months ago. We had 2,000 people there. The pictures from this event were insane. Like this, we really upped that's a full video board. We really upped our production, which is pretty cool. And we actually gave out these shoes. So anybody in our community that has over $10 million fund, we give away these shoes, which has been pretty cool. So here's a bunch I'll go through these quick, but Amit, $150,000, Reese raised $1 million. John raised $10 million. Dana, $65 million. David had $3 million. You can go through just all of these. It's just crazy how many people have done really well. And nothing, I don't give any credit to myself. This is our community. This is what they are doing. All we did was just give them hey, this is an option for you. And they took it and ran with it. And they did incredible stuff. This is Brent Mott. He was flipping 4 homes a year, flipped 72 houses the next year, which was pretty cool. Brent Campbell, RJ DeLong. I mean, you can just see how much, money they are doing. And these are just reported from people in our group, and in our community. So a fund is the best way to scale your business or investments. Now, in a previous webinar stuff, I would dive into this really deep. Today, we're going to talk more about the markets, but I just want to nail this home that I believe funds are so incredible. All of you on this call need to consider launching. If it's not today, it's tomorrow or it's 6 months from now or a year, but getting in this game. I don't care if it takes you 1 year, 5 years, or 20 years. The game of funds is the long game. It's not the get rich quick scheme. It's not the get rich quick game. It's the get rich, really rich in the long term. If you know what I mean? Yeah. You guys know what I mean? This is what, if you actually look, we're actually right now in talks with a bunch of big names, but Grant Cardone, you guys know Grant Cardone, right? For years, he was a sales trainer and then he did events. Then he's like, I'm going to do a fund. And all of a sudden he's a billionaire. Russell Brunson. I was actually with Russell Brunson last week. Just about 15 of us in a small little place. We're all hanging out for a couple of days. he's in this full acquisition mode, doing essentially private equity. He's buying up all these companies and grouping them together under the ClickFunnels brand, which is incredible. You look across the board, Cody Sanchez, people like Alex Hormozy. Guess what they're all doing? They're all doing essentially the fund model. They're acquiring businesses, which is private equity. Interesting. All of these smartest people on at least social media people that are making really great content, all of them are doing what? Oh, they're all kind of moving towards funds. Interesting. Even though they teach sales training, they're running a fund. Pace Morby, he spoke at our last event. Anybody follow Pace? Pace is incredible. I was actually with Pace last week in the small thing. We talked for about 2-3 hours. He came and presented on his stuff. It was really cool. He had just launched a fund, right? Everyone is moving to this fund space. Why? Because it is such a great business vehicle. If me and you are going to devote our lives to something, we can become the best chef in this certain area and we can be really good at making food, but there's a certain cap, a level of income you can make as a chef or a dentist or a surgeon. Those are really good professions that take decades to master. But if you come really good at funds or private equity or hedge funds or real estate funds, your ceiling is pretty much uncapped. And also, I would rather, if you pick a better vehicle, you can even be average in a better vehicle and still make more money than someone who's excellent at a worse vehicle than you. Does that make sense? You can be average or a little bit above average. I don't like ever saying average, but above average in a easier vehicle. Like, for example, if we were in a race and you're on a bicycle, okay, and you have the best bike in the world, you're a Tour de France athlete, you've trained your whole life, okay, and that's your vehicle. But I have a car, even an average car, a Toyota Camry. In a race of 100 miles, who's going to get there faster? Probably me, because I picked a better vehicle. Does that kind of make sense? That's why I love this game. So with that, I'm going to play this short little video, and then I'm going to kind of just talking about our community, I'm not saying me. I actually had somebody DM me the other day, like, Bridger, it's so cool the community you've built. And I was like, no way. This is our community. This is our logo. This is what we together need to spread this message of funds around the world to other people. So I'm going to play this short video and then we're going to dive into kind of where we're seeing that. Actually, well, yeah, I'll play it right here. Here we go. It's funny. Sometimes I meet someone and tell them what we're doing at Fund Launch. That we're helping hundreds of entrepreneurs launch funds every single year. They're usually taken back because it seems so far out of the realm of possibility that normal people like me and you could launch a fund. They think it's impossible that regular Joe Schmoes, Main Streeters, and dropouts could possibly start a fund. That funds are only reserved for the Ivy League and Wall Street elites. I usually respond with, well, that may have been true, but results speak for themselves. Isn't that awesome? Okay, this is what we're building, not me, but we need to like spread this message of funds around the world. So we need more people to launch funds. And I'll go through this quick, but this is kind of what we're seeing right now in the world. And why it's not like we want people, like we need to do this. These three companies are taking over the world right now: Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock. You guys can go look this up on YouTube at length and go about this, but look at this. Okay. This first one on here from the New York Times. BlackRock manages nearly 10 trillion investments. Vanguard is 8 trillion. State Street has 4 trillion. Okay, their combined 22 trillion is managed assets, is the equivalent of more than half of the combined value of the shares for all companies in the S&P 500, which is wild. So now what happens is, and down below it says, an analyst published in Boston University Law Review in 2019 that these big three could control as much as 40% of shareholder votes in S&P 500 within 2 decades. So what's happening is a lot of, us, we buy their index or ETF funds, but they go and buy shares in these big Fortune 500 companies. And what happens is they hold, if you look on any of their cap tables, Vanguard owns 5.5%, or BlackRock owns of a conglomerate. Now, a lot of it is through their ETFs and other things, but overall, that's the initiative. Now, what's happened the last few years is BlackRock or State Street or Vanguard has pushed certain initiatives. And what's happened is these companies have been put in a tight spot because if they don't follow a certain initiative from BlackRock or Vanguard, they will sell their position. And I mean, that's a big, if 6.5% of your, entire market cap sells out, that's a pretty big, it's a pretty big sale. That would tank your stock. And so they want to appease these big companies because they continue to add value to their stock price. So what happens is they can push certain agendas. I'll dive into some more numbers in a minute, specifics, but just imagine, it's just interesting that these three companies are rolling up. I mean, they really can control, and you can say both sides of the political angle. Let's just say BlackRock wanted to push a pro-gun agenda, pro-guns. We're going to push guns. And they told all the Fortune 500 companies, SP, hey, if you don't push pro-guns, we're going to sell our position. Also, they could say, we're going to push abortion or anti-abortion or pro-abortion, whatever side of the thing you fall on, whatever is opposite of your political views. If they push, a company would now, as a board of directors and a CEO, is now in this tight spot of like, well, it might hurt our share, but one of our biggest people is going to drop out. We've seen this last few months with Bud Light and Target and actually Disney. We've seen these initiatives. I'll actually share the stats in a minute. We've actually seen this tug between the market and these BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard pushing certain initiatives. So it's pretty interesting what is going on. If we don't do anything, these companies are rolling up the entire world. Now, you might think, well, that's too far away from me, but look at this, okay? Residential real estate is being rolled up right now. Institutional investors may control 40% of U.S. single-family rental homes by 2030. That's on CNBC. Last year, 1 in 7 homes were sold or owned by Wall Street. 1 in 7. So if you're worried about real estate prices are going too high and being controlled, it's funny. I was speaking at a real estate conference last week. A bunch of these really sharp real estate people, about 300 of them. They all do deals. And I went on the whiteboard and I was like drawing up deals. And I said, how many people, and I'll ask you guys the same question. How many people in the last year did a real estate deal? And you do the deal, and then and maybe you got bid out by somebody, or somebody beat you on the deal, and you're like, man, what idiot! They're gonna lose money on that deal. Anybody ever done that? Oh, they don't know their numbers. Like my pro forma, there's no way they're gonna win. Like they overpaid for that deal. Anybody ever done that before? I've done that before. And then I sat back though and said, interesting. What if they actually are gonna make money on that deal? Because they're not playing the same game that me and you were playing. See, me and you put some money, we syndicate some money together. We have a certain interest rate. We're going to go bid on that apartment complex. Maybe it's a fourplex. They can get cheaper loans from the bank because a fund has economies of scale. When you're a fund, a repeat customer to a bank, do you think a bank will give you better or worse rates? Probably better rates. So their cost of debt is lower. Additionally, they are buying up 1 in 7 homes. They're packaging hundreds of millions of dollars of single family homes together to sell as a package for a higher multiple. This is the strategy of a roll-up, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's happening in dental offices, in car washes right now, chiropractic shops across pretty much every industry right now is being rolled up is the term, and they can sell them for higher multiples. So me and you sit there, they're idiots. They're not going to make money, but no, I think they are making money. They're actually doing really well on these deals, but they're not playing the same game that me and you are playing because they have a fund. They can play a different game than me and you. Is that kind of making sense? Give me like an aha in the chat if that's making a little bit of sense. Actually, we had a guy 2 days ago. I was just talking to him on the call about car washes. We had a live call to our group, and we were talking about car washes. He goes, yeah, like a Wiggy wash, a Misters, one of those, those like big car washes. He goes, we get I think it was about a 7 to 8x multiple if we have about 4 to 5 of them. That's kind of the multiple we get. He goes, if we get 50 or above, that multiple jumps to about 25 or 30. just by having more of them. So he goes, we can actually go overpay for other car washes because once we group them together, our multiple jumps from like 7 or 8 to, he told me 25 to 30x multiple on car washes of all things. Okay. So this industry is being rolled up and they can actually, again, they're not playing the same game me and you were playing. That is the power of funds. That's why, by the way, I believe more people like me and you need to understand this game. If we don't, the opposite, not just me, but us, if we don't figure out this game, companies like these are just going to roll up every single industry. And we're going to be essentially slaves to monopolies in every industry. Now, Bridget, this can't be happening in this many markets, right? This is already consolidated. TV and news is already consolidated. Food and food production. Do you know all chicken in pretty much the entire world comes from 2 companies? Now, I'll save you the whole deep dive, but you can go look it up. Pretty wild. Accounting firms. You guys know like the big 4 accounting firms? Why are there big 4 accounting firms? Because they bought up all the other companies. I'll actually share a few slides here. This is the TV and media conglomerates. Do you guys know that this is who owns like all your TV? And by the way, Disney actually bought 21st Century Fox, I think 2 years ago, year and a half ago. So now it goes from 6 to 5. And actually, a lot of these companies are buying up other things, but all of these channels that you think are all separate, these are all owned by pretty much the same people. So if someone wanted to control the news or wanted to control a certain agenda, could they? Oh, and by the way, guess who owns the biggest shares in all these companies? Oh yeah, these 3. So really, if you were BlackRock and you wanted to control what the media said about something, could you? I'm not saying would you, but could you? Maybe. I don't know, maybe. Okay, another industry. Look at all these brands. I know you might be able to zoom in on your screen. Look who owns and controls pretty much all of these brands. You think you're shopping and changing up your brands. They're pretty much owned by the same people. This is industries that have been already rolled up and consolidated. For time's sake, I'm going to go fast with this. This is car brands. And actually, I'm going to zoom in on this for you guys to see it. But 14 car companies pretty much control every car brand on earth. So look at this. If I zoom in, did you guys know, maybe some of you guys do that, are car people, but did you know that, well, let me move this from my screen, that FCA owns Fiat, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, Ram, Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge. Those are all owned by one company. You guys know that? Did you know, let me go down to this one. Some of you guys might know this better. Volkswagen, VW owns Lamborghini, Volkswagen, Porsche, Bentley, Bugatti, Skoda, Seat, and Audi are all owned by the same company. Do you guys know that? Pretty interesting. You think, oh man, like screw Audi, I'm going to go buy a Porsche. You're buying from the same company, right? Like, and actually it's kind of interesting. You look at the platforms that most of the cars are they're getting more and more similar because they're crossbreeding. But it's interesting that a lot of these brands are getting rolled up in these industries. Again, they have figured out how to run essentially a fund or an M&A strategy to go and roll up brands and roll up businesses together. Is anybody making sense here? Give me like an aha in the chat. This is making a little bit of sense. Now, I know there's going to be a ton of questions. I will have time for Q&A after we have our 4 fund managers come on. I'm going to stay on. We'll talk. We can deep dive and go down the rabbit hole, whatever you guys want to do. We can talk about all this and how we stop this. But I think the way to stop this or change this is we need to play the same game. We need to go play the game of a fund. It's not like we need more fund managers. We need more people to go and segment this industry. And we need people like me and you, regular people that understand economies of grassroots, to go and do this. That's why this movement of like the Wall Street rebels, what we call ourselves, what we beat our chests for, is so important, because this is happening in pretty much in every industry. That's why we call ourselves the Wall Street rebels. Yeah. Hoorah. Give me it. I love people. Hoorah in the chat. Okay. I love it. That's why we're the Wall Street rebels. That's why we do these events. That's why we do live calls. That's why we're so adamant to like help more of us figure out this game. It's because it's so massive. Okay. Now I want to talk about what happens when we do this. This is the rise of retail investors. Now, this is pretty interesting. During COVID, this really took off. You guys look at this chart. This is retail investors' share of U.S. equities trading volume. During COVID, this just took off. You know, back in 2010, we were about 10% of the market. Retail investors now jumped to about 20, all the way up to about 24% of all investor share of U.S. equities was retail, which I think is pretty cool. That kind of decentralizes the current ownership structures of a lot of these companies. Now, it's fallen a little bit. It's kind of climbing back a little bit here, but pretty interesting. For instance, I don't know if and for time's sake, I'm going to go through quick because we've got these fund managers. They're actually in the back room right now waiting to come on live. So I'm going to go through this quick. But you guys remember this? Remember Citadel versus all the retail people, GameStop, AMC? I actually had a guy on my show. He We did this whole deep dive. Citadel had taken a naked short on like 300 million shares of AMC. And anyways, they actually halted trading at Robinhood. Do you guys remember this whole thing? There's a great documentary now on Netflix that walks through this whole thing, but retail investors went toe to toe with Citadel. And really Robinhood kind of screwed over the whole plan, which is pretty interesting. But it shows the power of retail investors. Right now, there's this huge sentiment on Wall Street to change how they're investing, to bet against retail or go into Reddit groups, because it's such a big force that if we play this right now, I'm hoping that we don't be retail investors, that we actually become institutional investors through funds. I think it's fine to start out as a retail investor, but growing to a fund level, but retail people running them, people like me and you to run those funds would be massive. This is interesting. This is Bud Light. Now we can talk, I'm not going to talk politics on here, left, right, whatever you think, but I'm just telling you, a lot of people were not happy with Bud Light's marketing campaign. This is back in about April. So their market shares here dropped 12% compared to the Dow, which rose 8.9%. So about a 20 to 21% spread here because of a marketing strategy. Now, they hadn't apologized to anything till this day. And they went back and just said, hey, our big shareholders, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, are telling us to push this, ESG initiative, or this more just this social kind of social agenda initiative. And it's cost them tens of billions of dollars in market cap. Now, it's even more interesting is the other two companies I'm going to share. And I'm just looking at charts. Again, I'm just here to make money. So this is Target. Target had a huge campaign where they're posting, it was something like satanic stuff on t-shirts, if I can't remember, something like that. Anyways, a ton of people revolted, didn't like it. And bam, look at their market cap down 15%. Again, Dow. So that's like almost a, 24, 25% spread just in a few months. But now if you back up a little bit, and this is again, Disney's had a lot of controversy with parents. And I'll just say, this is my personal opinion, is I want to go to Disney movie with my kid or kids or family members. And I don't want any political agenda, left or right. I don't care if it's woke or far right or whatever. I just don't want it in a kids movie. Like, is that too much to ask for? I'm just going to watch a fun kids movie. Do we really have to push social and political agendas? But again, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the market thinks. This, if you back it up, this is them from their peak. Okay. Disney is down half, and Target down right around 50% from their all-time highs. And most analysts pushing because of certain agendas they have pushed in their business, which I think is pretty significant. Now, again, I don't care if you're right, left, pro this, pro that, but just think about if a company was pushing the opposite agenda that you believed. And I don't think companies should push an agenda in general, but let's just say Target was pushing a pro-gun campaign. Okay. They're like super pro guns. And then Target, and maybe Disney was pushing a really, super woke campaign. I don't care what campaign it is, but just imagine an opposite campaign to your political views. Okay. That'd be pretty interesting. Now, the retail investors and the market has come out and said, we just don't like that, which is pretty interesting. Imagine, whatever the company is, Target, Disney, pushing a pro-Biden or a pro-Trump campaign. It doesn't matter who the campaign is for. And by the way, it could flip in a couple of years anyways. But in my opinion, I think it's really cool that retail investors have come back and said, we're going to vote with our dollars. If you look at the actual math, this is from peak to bottom. Disney is down 56%. Disney, which is insane. Target's down 65%. They lost 120 billion in market cap. Disney's lost 209 billion since their peak. That is crazy. Total drop of $329 billion. This week, actually, Bob Iger is in talks with Apple to sell Disney all the way to Apple. They are selling out all these assets right now. Disney is in a tough spot as a stock. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe it's time to buy it. Maybe it's time to buy the stock because it's so low. I don't know. But what I think is really cool is this fight against the big three firms pushing certain initiatives. And if we have more of us, we can decentralize Wall Street. Does that make sense? And I hope, again, I don't want to make this a political conversation. I want to make this more of a decentralizing Wall Street, letting people vote with their dollars, letting us vote with the market and just showing the market. This is what we think when you push a social agenda in a kids movie. This is what we think, right? Bam, look at that drop. I mean, massive, and it could be a pro-gun initiative. It could be an anti-abortion, whatever the abortion or an election initiative. Like, why are we pushing that in a kids movie or with, I don't know, whatever name the company X, Y, or Z, and the market is voting? Is this kind of making sense? You guys following along? That's why I think it's so important for us to run funds and we need more people to launch funds. We need more of this. That's why we are the Wall Street Rebels. Okay. Now we got people in the back room. So I want to bring them on. The last thing I'm going to share, I'm going to share my outlook for the next 6 to 12 months. And then we're going to bring on our first guest. Does that sound okay? Yeah. Just making something. Let me check the Slack here. Yeah. Does that sound good? Okay. I love it. All right. I have been calling this for a year and I'm sticking to my thesis. I was calling a double dip from last year. And I'm sticking to it. Now, a lot of people are saying we're having a soft landing. We're going to have no landing. We're going to have a flyby. Personally, I still think we're having a double dip. Now, I could be totally wrong, but this is where I see. Last year, I was like, we're going to have a double dip. We had this huge run up. Right now, we're down. I think the real economy, the reason that pushing that, I'll share a few things. But right now, this is what people say. We've had a decent sell-off the last few weeks. But I mean, the market is up 44%, 35%. So to be honest, but just personal bridger investing, this is not my fun, but personal investing. I missed this whole run up because I was like, it's coming back down. Dropped here. Coming up again. This is back to 2021. So right here, we had this kind of first dip. It's come up again. I think from this year, it's up like 20 to 30%. But I personally think we're going to see a double dip. But Bridger, what about growing GDP? We had a great GDP report. We had a jobs report, the housing market. Jobs report has been revised down. The last 6 out of 6 job reports have been revised down. Meaning they published a number that was high and then they revised it down 6 times. It's not like it's 50-50. Like if it was actually like, just a statistical error, 3 of them maybe revise up a little bit, 3 of them revise down. That would make more sense. But to have 6 out of 6, we overstated it. And then we had to come back means maybe they're trying to publish good numbers for whatever reason. And they have to keep clawing back at those numbers. People point to the housing market's ripping. It's doing well. I'm just looking around. People I talk to a lot of fund managers, a lot of people that are getting just murdered and or about to get murdered on their properties right now. We're going to talk to 3 fund managers right now and just see where they're at. But in my personal opinion, you don't raise interest rates by 5.5% in a year and something not break. Just everyone is perfectly solvent. Oh yeah, we were all managing our debt perfectly. I believe that there are companies right now that their war chests are running out, that they're going to have to be here. For example, I think banks are in this category. We've had an inverted yield curve since July of 2020, over a year. The banking model does not work with an inverted yield curve. The whole model of a bank is to borrow short from depositors and lend long to creditors. Okay. That's the whole business model of a bank. When it's an inverted yield curve, it doesn't work. Your whole business model breaks, especially when it's broken for a year, not like a little dip, not like like even a month or 2. It's been a year of inverted yield curves. I just think banks actually right now, a couple of fund managers we talked to are just saying we are just giving properties back to the bank. We're at least planning to over the next 6 months. If interest rates don't drop, we're just going to give properties back to the bank because we are underwater. We have negative leverage on our properties right now because a lot of these construction loans that were done or value add loans are only 2 to 3 year loans. And right now they're having to be refinanced with, it is astronomically more expensive debt than they first started out with their original pro forma. So they're just saying, hey, we'd rather just give these back to the bank. And the bank doesn't want them. They're going to take these assets. What are they going to do? Turn around and fire sell them. And hopefully a buyer comes while their model is broken. Now, delinquency rates aren't that high though on commercial real estate. They are trending up through 2023. We only have Q1 data going into Q2, but I'm looking at the data, but it's painting a different picture, right? Personal saving rates are pretty low, below 5%, but as a historical average, we went from all-time highs here during COVID to dropped a lot, but I don't know, pretty interesting. Household debt service as a payment of disposable income. This is percentage of debt, and it's not that high. People, even with interest rates at, quadrupling, percent of debt service isn't that high if you look at kind of an average. It's coming up right around 9.6, 9.8. So to me though, I have a lot of friends that run business. I go talk to them though, and they're telling me revenues are down 25, 30%. It just feels like there's a mismatch between what is being reported and what's actually happening in the real economy. And that's why I'm currently a little bearish, but I may be totally wrong. So there's my quick outlook. I'm going to talk more about this in a minute. And I'm going to share something cool, and then we're going to bring on our first manager. But then we'll talk more in the Q&A. Does that sound good? I don't want to have these guys wait any longer for us. Now, the last thing I'm going to share, me and my dad have been working on something cool. My brother is a pretty cool book that is coming out soon. Do you guys want to see what it is? Give me a little drum roll, please. We actually are, my dad is the main writer, but we've kind of co-authored with him a book called Dollars, Gold, and Bitcoin. Whole breakdown of what the Fed's hidden agenda and how to profit from it, right there in the title. So boom, who would love to have access to this in a few months? Okay, it is currently written, is being final edits are getting done. We're working with publishers right now. Should be coming out here in the next, I think end of year is kind of the pegged mark. Now this comes from my dad's thesis, all built around what is going on right now with currency wars, with Russia, China, the BRICS nations launching new currencies. I can go on and on about this, but they have their gold back. They're actually meeting right now. All these BRICS nations are meeting actually today, August 22nd, this week. They have 41 countries that have applied to be in the BRICS nations, and how this works on a global scale currently, and chip wars that are happening. Anyways, I'm giving you just a little teaser because we kind of get to go fast, but who would love to get access to that book? Wouldn't that be kind of fun? Give me a little yes in the chat. That'd be kind of cool to hear. It's we could go on and on. India's paying for oil now. And every day this is getting updated. I mean, brand new. So we're gonna have to do a bunch of cool stuff, but there's the title. You guys like that title though, and that name? I think that's pretty cool. Hey, Dollars, Gold, and Bitcoin. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool too. Yes, for the new book. I know it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. So now again, my dad has been the one that's thought through this. Me and my brother have added a little bit, but it's really my dad's book. So kudos to John, my dad, incredible dude. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So yeah, pretty fun. All right. Okay. How we doing? I'll pre-order now. Yeah, we gotta get a page live or something for the book. Which is pretty fun. Okay. Now before I come on, I'm gonna bring our speaker. Is our speaker ready? How are we doing? Maybe just check for me. They're gonna go check and make sure our speakers are good in the back. While we're getting them checked and just onboard and everything. Are you guys cool if I just share a little bit? Now, again, you cannot buy anything on today's webinar. What I just want to share is a little bit about Black Card. I've had a bunch of people ask me about Black Card, what it is and how it works and all this kind of stuff. Does that sound okay? We walk through that for just 2 minutes while they're just checking behind the scenes here if it works. So, okay. Sound good? Give me a yes in the chat. That's cool. And I'm going to fly through this. Some of you guys have heard this before, but this is what Black Card is. We help people launch and scale funds through Black Card. So what's in Black Card? Black Card is the ultimate coaching and mastermind program to get your fund launched. This is a program designed to help people launch program. A lot of you guys actually said you were in Black Card as well, which is pretty cool. Okay. What Black Card is, it helps people in any of these categories, real estate, Forex, debt funds, whatever you're doing with a fund to launch a fund. Our company is called Fund Launch for a reason. A lot of people for years started to ask us, hey, Bridger, your dad, your brother, can you guys help me launch my fund? And finally, we built this whole program. We have about 50 employees now that we actually help people. We have a whole army of people to help you launch your fund, which is pretty cool. Okay. This is for people that want to do their first deal, want to do their first fund, scaling existing fund, scaling existing business, or networking just with fund managers. If you don't just be around fund managers, this is all for you guys that are doing this. Okay. So when you join Black Card, it's a mix of one-on-one coaching, bi-monthly group calls. It's like having us on your team to personally hold your hand while launching your fund. Okay. Looking over your shoulder, helping you do this. Now in Black Card, we have 3 forms of accountability. We have peer-to-peer. We have other people in the group like you saw. Who's in Black Card again? Type in Black Card if you guys are currently in Black Card. These people help you, keep you accountable to what you're doing. If you say a goal, they're going to keep you accountable. That's peer-to-peer accountability. There you guys are. What's up? What's up? Okay. Next up, we have alumni, people that have gone through the program and are kind of helping people that are already still launching their funds, current fund managers. And then we have expert and coach accountability. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So we have an 8-stage process to launch your fund. You have an annual membership. I'm going to go through this fast because I think they're ready. I'm getting a thumbs up. They are ready behind the scenes. Okay. So when you join Black Card, you have a full software. You guys can list your fund and have a full build out your whole thing. We have 15 specialty coaches from all around the world that come in. So coaches that help in real estate, family offices, finances, hedge funds, venture capital. These are some of our coaches here that come and actually work with you one-on-one. They have daily office hours. So every single day of the week, you can hop on and listen to somebody. And you get a dedicated account manager to work with you. You get a full pitch deck design and build. So actually, this is someone literally in our group. This is their pitch deck they sent to me. I was like, this is terrible. It's really cool fun, but just terrible. This is what they built after. Okay. Our pitch deck designer does a very good job of making really pretty, really cool pitch decks. So you have a full, beautiful pitch deck. Additionally, you get our full course, the Academy course, built out 200 plus videos, fun worksheet templates. You, legal. Now it's the biggest question. We actually used to not do this. So before, legal, was $50,000 to $300,000. These are from real websites. This is how much legal costs to launch your fund. $20,000 to $150,000, huge cost. So before we just said, hey, we'll coach you, but then go hire a law firm yourself. And so that's kind of what we did before. But then we said, hey, what if we could negotiate a group discount, get people in? So anyone that's in Black Card, we actually pay for the entire full fund legal setup for a basic domestic fund in the United States, which is crazy. Okay. It's all included in your membership, which is freaking awesome. In Black Card, I'm going to go through this fast. We have 12 partnership groups. We can help you find like Preqin. You can use them to find investors, ACA for compliance. We have all these different partners we plug in to help you, again, launch your fund. The last thing, which I think is the most valuable part, is this is what Brad Lee was telling me. He's like, the more hands I shake, the more money I make. The network is like, I think the biggest thing of us, our community of what we're building. So we actually now have, you get 1 year access to the Discord community. How many of you guys are on Discord right now with our community? Discord's been a hoot. We just moved everyone to Discord like 3 weeks ago, and it has been phenomenal. It's been so fun. I love, if you guys have not joined Discord yet, we have actually a low tier and then all the way up to like our Black Card community in Discord, but that's like where we're doing all of our live calls, everything. We're moving from our Facebook groups and everywhere, YouTube, like we're moving all of our channels to Discord just because it's so interactive. It's so easy for not but our community to get together, for you guys to meet people, do deals. It's amazing. So huge plug. We have our kind of our top tier of Discord is just Black Card. We have all of our coaches in there. And then we have our kind of our low end stuff you guys can join as well. We actually, by the way, we only open Discord once a month. So if you might have to join the waiting list, and I think at the end of the month, we'll open it for like a day and you guys can join. That's kind of how we do it. We also do live events though. Okay. So with Black Card, we do 3 live events a year. We do, here's previous ones. We had Snowbird, we had Cancun, we had Las Vegas. So we do 3 in-person events every year. First is a workshop style event. How many of you guys came to the workshop style event in Salt Lake City? It was pretty fun. Previously, we rented out like the jazz court. Is awesome. But we actually really get down and like get into your fund and like do a full breakdown and workshop of your fund. We try to move the needle. Like we take 6 months of work and try to put it in like 2 days and like really go deep with it. The second is Fun Launch Live. So we have like bonus parties. We had a yacht party last time. We had after parties. We do stuff. We had race cars. So we do it during the Fun Launch Live. Our next Fun Launch Live is in Orlando 2024, which is so exciting. And then third is an exotic style. Okay. Last year we did Cancun, and this year we are going to, drum roll please, we're actually going to Kauai, which is so fun. So actually the reason we're doing this call, and I wanted to bring this up right now before we have our fund managers coming on, is because so Kauai is beautiful. If you don't know where Kauai is, fantastic. Thankfully, and we might do some relief fund for Maui. Heart goes out to Maui and all the stuff that happened there and just crazy stuff that's going on in Maui. But we'll be in Hawaii just in about a month and a half from now, which would be really cool. We actually have a deadline coming up. And by the way, this is an event once a year. We actually allow you to bring your kids and your spouse so they can also learn about funds and what you're doing in a business. I think it's crucial to have your family on your team with you and like working with you. And so, yes, you can bring your kids, his family, spouse to this one event, not the other events, but this event. You can bring everybody and they can be like in the room listening and like all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. I think it's very valuable to have your spouse on board or your kids on board and like help them launch funds in the future too, which is really cool. So now the deadline is Friday to book rooms. We are actually just about full with all of our rooms. Friday is the dead cutoff for room blocks. So, that's why I wanted to bring this up right now. This is like the last call. If you guys want to join Black Card and come to Hawaii and be with 300 fund managers in one spot all together, talking about funds, hearing about other people's funds launching. This is like the final deadline. These are other members of Black Card right here, but I'm going to drop a link. So there's just the review. Again, you get Black Card, Marketplace, 15 coaches, Slack channel, deck design, everything. Again, you cannot buy anything on this call. How we're doing this, we want to meet you before you join Black Card. We want to make sure you're a good fit. You can't just buy into Black Card. We have to like kind of meet you guys. So that's what we're going to do. You guys can go, I'm going to drop this link and you guys can go and book a call. I'm going to give you like 1 minute and then we have our fund manager in the background that's going to come on. So you have literally 1 minute and then we're going to bring our fund manager on, but book a call. Calls last time we did this sold out, like we're gone. And like, I don't know, the first time we dropped the call. So this is the link. You guys ready? Go. You're going to have 1 minute, but go grab a time and then we'll start in about 1 minute. You guys ready? Set, go. There's the link, fundlaunch.com/call. We only have, I think there's only a couple people, like my team, they're all trained by me. We have about 3 or 4 people back here and myself actually might hop on some calls too. But if you want to learn more about Black Card, what it is, the deadline literally is Friday to come. We've been telling that for weeks to all of our Black Card members. Deadline is Friday to book rooms. Like literally the room block is about to fill up. The deadline is Friday to get all the rooms booked. And so this is your final call. So click that link. It's okay if you leave this page, go to Safari, go to Chrome. How this looks, I'll actually share my screen here. With you guys, fundlaunch.com/call. So go over there and then we got our fund manager in the background, which we're going to bring on right now. So go right there, fundlaunch.com. It might glitch out because we have a lot of, sometimes it glitches out because we have a lot of people going there right now. But if you want to book a call to learn more and how you can join and all that kind of stuff, head on over. Here is the link. So it'll hopefully come up here. Okay, so you'll come on here, the page should load, give it a second to load. You can go down, you can read testimonials, you can watch videos, whatever. And again, this is to, if you want to learn more about Black Card, what it is, and potentially come to our Hawaii event and all that kind of stuff, you can go here. There's time slots available. So like today, this is the 22nd. Maybe you want to book this afternoon at 5 p.m. Hit confirm, put in your name, details, email, fill out a few questions here, and then hit submit. And then we'll have one of this isn't like some third party. This is like literally, there's only a couple guys that are very good at funds that are on my team, trained by me, that will talk you through. If you're curious about how to launch a fund, what it looks like, all those types of questions, you can go right here and book a call and go from there. Any other thoughts? Oh, link in the chat. The link's in the chat. That's the easiest way to do it. So just click the link in the chat. Mason's dropped it in there. He'll keep dropping it in there for you guys. Grab that link in the chat, and then we'll go from there. You guys good? Drop that link again for us. And then, by the way, I'll say calls go quick. Last time we booked, I think we only have I don't know how many, maybe a couple, like 24 slots available for calls. Once they're gone, they are gone. And so we'll probably refresh it in a minute, but we've done this before, and like calls were all gone in like the first minute. So just if you're curious or like on the fence, I would book a call and then you go from there. All right. I'll give you guys like 30 more seconds here. Fill out all those questionnaires. Don't think you're not going to miss anything if you go over and book a call. I'll wait for you guys right now. Let me pull up the chat here for a second. And then we got our fund manager. We got Kevin in the background. Kevin, you guys ready to come on? Okay, we'll get Kevin's queued up, right? Okay, we got Kevin coming on in just like 30 more seconds. I'll give you guys one last second here. I'm just gonna look through the chat, make sure I haven't missed anything. Can you open multiple funds? Yeah, so in Black Card, it covers one fund, like the legal cost, but you can always use that same. We have like this awesome relationship with this law firm that helps. This is what we did, actually. I'll tell you straight up. We went to this law firm. They usually charge, I don't know, $20,000 to $35,000 a fund. And we were like, hey, we're going to send you a lot of clients. Can you give us like a really bulk discount? And people are like, and they're going to be trained by us. So they're ready to go. They've gone through all the steps. They know everything. They're going to save you time. Because most lawyers waste so much time like, hey, what kind of fund do you want to build? How do you want to do it? And they go back and forth. They bill by the hour. And so we said they'll be trained by us. They'll know exactly. They're going to show up and go, hey, I want X, Y, Z with a drink and a side of fries. And so they'll go on, do that whole thing, and then you'll be able to save a bunch of time. And so they're like, so that will save you time, and so you can charge our clients less and us less. And so we really negotiated this volume play now we have, I think, 4 or 5 law firms that we're working with, and it's awesome. And we have our students working with them. They can choose. It depends on which fund, if you want to do an international fund, we have options for that, or Canadian fund, we have an option for that, or Australian funds, we have options for that, all the above. Can do it. So, all right. Okay. With that, Mason will drop that link, but we're going to have our guest speaker on. We got Kevin. Let me train it on my screen. Okay. Kevin Kwong is coming on live. If you want to pull Kevin up for me or spotlight him, if he's here, if I can see him.
Hey, Bridger, can you hear me?
There he is. Kevin, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
So good. Welcome on. Good to have you here. So, and what we'll do, by the way, so Kevin, you're going to come on and we'll talk for a minute. If you guys have questions for Kevin, drop them in the chat, or even the Q&A is actually better, probably. The chat gets muddled up, but drop them in the Q&A would be awesome. Kevin, welcome on. Good to have you here. If you can, for a second, give us a 30 seconds, just boilerplate on you, kind of your background, your fund. What do you do? Give us a little background on you.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you, Bridger and the team, for having us. And so my name is Kevin Kwong. We are Tradewin Investments. So we have 2 funds, and we are going to consolidate and launch our 3rd fund. I am the founder, chief investment officer, and we have been operating since February of 2022.
Really cool. Congrats. And walk us through your strategy a little bit. What do you guys trade? How do you do that? Walk me through that whole thing.
Yeah. So thank you again for the presentation, because it really consolidates all the information that is out there, and then kind of zone in on what is important to look at. So how we always design our strategy is so-called beta neutral or delta neutral. What that means is we are not focusing on where the market is going, up or down. We are neutral to the market, and that is our forecast going forward. So we believe the market, just like you, were slightly bearish. So we'll be neutral to down or neutral to bearish. And with that said, our strategy is divided so that we have a really low correlation to the broader market.
Really cool. I love it. So walk me through, what kind of markets are you in? Are there, maybe don't give us away your whole strategy, but what assets do you typically trade? How long are your trading holds? What kind of, I mean, you mentioned market neutral, but what categories are you in and what are you trading actively?
For sure. So as everyone know, on the hedge fund side, we trade the public equity market, and you can always choose a direction or be neutral. What that means is you can always short a stock and then you become slightly bearish. So how we do it is we trade our index options, and we have two funds. The first one is super short term. The second one is slightly longer term, between 90 to 120 days. So what that means right now is our fund 3 is a combination of them, and that goes to the point of how we are preparing for Q4 and forward is, one, stay diversified. Two is to have keep learning and evolving. And the beauty of hedge fund is you can evolve a strategy and you can change the strategy relatively quickly by tweaking a couple of things. So to answer your question directly, Bridger, we are trading index options, and our term structure is between 0 days all the way to 120, 150 days. And having that type of diversification and 3 or 4 core strategy really allows us to have a low beta, so a low correlation, but still a strong alpha to generate a return that is good risk and reward profile.
I love it. So walk me through why you said you're slightly bearish. What indicators are you looking at right now that are making you have that feeling towards, and you're kind of saying bearish towards the end of the year, I'm guessing. Is that kind of what you're saying? But walk me through why you have that sentiment, what you guys are looking at right now.
Yeah, like you said it, you hit the nail right on the head. You said the world does not the interest rate has been up 5.5% within a year, right? So something got to give, and we believe that some internal things there could be broken as that have not been reflective yet. We believe there is some underlying challenges that real estate will face, and it's similar news to material that you have presented. So that's kind of our underlying assumption. And there's also a 37% chance that the Fed might raise rate again in November. They said it's kind of low in the September timeframe. So that is further going to slow down the economy, or the attempt to. And through that process, we just think that since the market there's no strong basis to have a stronger bull market, we just think it's either sideways to down. And our strategy is designed to kind of generate an income and profit throughout the process, regardless of what the market is doing.
I love this. So walk me through, how did you get into this? You started about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, your official hedge fund, but I'm guessing you've been trading for a while before that. Walk me through your guys' story with your partners, your team. How did you learn all this, and how did you guys actually launch your fund?
Yeah, absolutely. Richard, that's actually a great question, because one thing you mentioned is like a Wall Street rebel, right? So we intuitively are not against Wall Street, but our team is not fond upon Wall Street. What that means is we don't respect Wall Street so much that we think it's the best thing ever. And because of that, historically we've been trading our own capital, and me and David Yao, my partner, we were able to come up with a strategy that is super consistent regardless of what the market does, and generate that type of return last year in 2022. And basically we started 2020 to 2022 in terms of personal training. And because of that, we were able to utilize the services that BlackRock provide, and have one of the best coaching program for us to learn the whole process in terms of what we can do. Because our background is not Wall Street. So I was a risk consultant, and then David Yao was a pharmacist. So what that means is our background does not align with the typical Wall Street. So, but that wasn't a hurdle, because BlackRock program and fund launch really helped provided the baseline in terms of how to set up funds and what needs to be done, the step-by-step process. So we enjoy that, and then we've been reaping the benefits of truly growing. And as long as you have a good idea, good product, there's always a way to raise capital and to generate, to build a nice fund.
Yeah, if any of you guys were at Fund Launch Live, David, your business partner, spoke, which he did a great job, I thought, on stage, and talked through your guys' strategy. And he had such a cool story as a pharmacist turned fund manager. He mentioned that he had all this time as a pharmacist, time off. So he started to learn how to trade. And then sounds like he partnered with you and you guys kind of came together, made this good thing. He was telling me before, your returns have been phenomenal. I'm not sure if you want to talk about exact returns on this call, or I don't know if that's okay on your compliance, but if you're okay with that, walk us through some of your returns that you guys have had since beginning.
Yeah, for us in the past, we have 2022 is mostly our first fund, and we netted our investor 36% last year. So that was a phenomenal year. That was not part of the so-called target. Our target typically is between 15 to 20% net to investors on a long-term basis. So because of that, and that also goes back to my second point of keep learning and evolving. Because of that, this year has been slightly more challenging. We are still positive, but the main difference is we want to combine strategies so that we have so many uncorrelated strategies that truly whatever the market does, we have a positive expectancy going forward.
I love it. You know, if there's someone on this call, I'm actually curious, people in the chat, how many of you guys are traders? Just give me like I'm a trader, like yes, in the chat. If you are someone who's actually a trader looking maybe you would love to launch a hedge fund one day, or maybe a hedge fund incubator one day, give me a sense in the chat, how many of you guys are actually trader types? And that's a big category, I know, but give me a little bit. Okay, a lot of people in here. Options trader, yes. Okay, I love it. Algorithm trader, really cool. We got a lot of people on here. So Kevin, what would be your kind of advice to someone, maybe a younger you that's on the fence? Maybe you've been trading your personal account, or you're trading with a little bit of family and friends money, and you want to jump to launching a full fund. What are a few things that helped you guys along the process, and maybe advice you'd give to someone that's a little bit younger, or younger in the field of launching a hedge fund to make that leap?
Yeah, absolutely. If I knew what I know now, we would have been in a different space. What that means, different trajectory. So we would have been an even larger fund by now. The only difference is knowledge. And if you have access to knowledge, which we did eventually through fund launch and the Black Card program, you have a really strong chance to set up a successful fund. That being said, if I can look back, and a recommendation is kind of the same thing what David talked about, is take action. Take the first step, take the leap of faith. The financial benefit is just beyond, but the satisfaction of being able to create a product that is truly needed in the marketplace, especially like a bear market like last year, really is rewarding. And you get calls from investors that really thanking that say, hey, one of the investors just real quick said, I don't even look at the market anymore because I invested in you guys. So with those type of confidence, it gives you that satisfaction of truly running a business, and also have that trust and confidence from the background to really help you succeed in running a business and a hedge fund or any fund.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. Well, Kevin, congrats to you guys on your fund. Sorry, I'm going to mute that. There's an echo there. Congrats to you guys on your fund. What you guys have launched. I'm excited to see you guys grow. I mean, it's been for all funds around the world. This year has been a very telling year of how you can perform during a very, I guess, interesting let's call it 18 months. And you guys, I've kind of seen, I've talked to you, Kevin, and also your partner, and just seen where you guys have done and how you've done your strategy. I think it's phenomenal, and I'm excited to see you guys grow and do really well over the next little bit. So, Kevin, thank you so much. Anything else you want to leave with us before we move on?
I think I'm good. I want to thank everyone again for the opportunity to share. It's been challenging time out there, but there are always opportunity, and just stay optimistic, keep the grind. I think it's going to be a exciting time the next couple of years in terms of truly breaking the glass ceiling of like the fun and what we can accomplish without the so-called elite type of background.
I want to ask one last question before I get you going. You mentioned that if you had the knowledge before, you would be a much bigger fund by now. What was that knowledge, and what do you actually specifically, what do you wish you knew before?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Fund?
So I was comparing to not knowing anything about hedge fund, because the story is so David asked me to start a fund quite early on. When I say early on, a couple of months before we actually started, I was like, no, I'm good. I would trade my own money. I make good money. But I forgot the knowledge of true leverage in terms of not like over leverage type of margin call, all that. When I say leverage, is leveraging other people's money and being able to build a business and product around that. So that is one of the knowledge. The second thing, is how to communicate, how to pitch, and how to set up hedge funds for us specifically in terms of in a manner that is coherent to what the economy is needed. So I think all those combined, it really helped us propel. And looking back, if what I meant is if I started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we would be probably a 9-figure fund by now. That's the timing of it. That's why taking action now is it's better to do it now than a year from now, regardless of what the current circumstances is. That's kind of what I was relating at.
Gotcha. I love it. I couldn't agree more. It's funny, the game of a fund is the long-term game. And every year you're in business, it kind of compounds because you have a longer track record. You have more people, investors that have been with you for longer. And it just, the cool, like you look at people like Ray Dalio or Warren Buffett, wow, they're so cool. They've been doing this for 50, 60 years in some cases. Like when you're like, oh, that makes a little more sense. You do like, actually, I did full deep dives on both these guys. When they were 35 or, they actually both started their funds in their 20s. I think 28 and 26 years old when they launched their first funds. But what happened is they slowly got wins for investors. They compounded those wins and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then now you got Bridgewater and Berkshire and you're like, wow, this is amazing. But you look back and it's like, it's exactly what you said, Kevin, and they started earlier and just started. There's so much benefit, even if it's a small fund, even if it's a hedge fund incubator that's got $100,000 in it. I think that's huge. The moving from 0 to 1 is massive, and just making any gains because it compounds over time, which is amazing. So, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. It's phenomenal to have you. Kevin, what's a good way if people want to connect with you or follow you or whatever, what's a good way people can maybe reach out to you or connect with you if you want that? I don't know if you want that or not, but if you want that, what's a good way for people to find you?
Yeah, I think the best way is to reach out to me on either Slack or Discord, and then we can kind of start from there. I think that's the easiest way. And then maybe later on we can share the contact information. But it was a great opportunity. Thank you everyone for having me. And one last word is just keep the grind, and for us, diversify and enjoy the process. I think that's the most important part. So thank you again.
Love it, Kevin. Thank you. Go find him on Discord. Be great. Okay, Kevin. That was awesome, by the way. Thank you. Thanks, Kevin, for coming on. Okay, we got our next speaker. I think already ready to go. Is that correct? Maybe just check. I'll check with my team. We'll give them 1 or 2 minutes to get them prepped on behind the scenes. But that was awesome. Our next 2 speakers actually coming on run a $135 million fund full of distressed hotels, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to have them on. They're actually members of our whale group. We were in Alaska fishing a few weeks ago. So as you guys are prepping them real quick, we'll give them 1 more minute. Real quick, I just got from my team as well on the black card calls. It looks like there is only 1 call spot left. So you guys really took it off if you guys came on late, but just kind of review. I'll go through this, just click through these. Black card though, we have 15 specialty coaches to help you guys launch your funds, whole category on how to do funds. We have daily coaching calls that you guys can hop on. Dedicated account managers. You get a full pitch deck design before and after. You get the academy, the whole course put together in there. You get lifetime access to that. You get full legal setup inside of Black Card as well. 12 partnerships. You get access to all these cool partnerships that you guys can tap and get discounts from us in there. You get access to the Discord community at the top tier, which is Black Card inside of Discord. Kevin's on Discord. A bunch of all the people actually you're hearing today are all on there. You guys can go talk to them and meet them. And then actually, the last thing is our 3 in-person events a year. The next event is happening in Kauai in just a month and a half. The deadline to book is Friday. So I think we only have, it looks like 1 call left. They're going to try to open up more calls. So we'll see. Maybe by the time they wrote this note to me like 3 minutes ago. So hopefully they're trying to get more calls opened. But you guys can go here. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. And then we got Jignesh and Robbins coming on in just a second. So 1 minute here. If you guys want to book a call, if you're on the fence, I think they're trying to open up more calls. So go to fundlaunch.com/call or just hit the link in the chat. You guys can go book a call. But again, Friday is the deadline. So make sure to book a call before, I would say today or tomorrow or Friday, whenever the calls are open. We'll see. Maybe I'll share my screen one more time. And then looks like we got Robbins and Jignesh behind the scenes here. They're going to be coming on in just a second. Let me share my screen here. Here /call. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. I'm going to refresh and see how many calls are available. They're trying to open up more calls for y'all. Looks like Thursday is gone. We only have 1 call left for today. I told you these would go fast. Okay, Wednesday. Looks like they got a couple calls available on Wednesday, but Thursday is already gone and Tuesday is only one call left. So if you guys are on the fence or want to learn more about Black Card and again, if this is not like you have to, this is just seeing where you're at. These guys, there's only 3 or 4 guys taking calls trained by me. They're from my team. So if you want to talk to them about funds, how your fund is built, if it's the right time to do a fund, this Black Card might not be a good fit for you, by the way. So we want to sit down and just see if it's a good fit. If it's not, we can refer you somewhere else or give you something else to help you along that process. But this is a good process to see if right now might be a good time to launch your fund and do all that kind of stuff. So I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. You're not going to miss anything if you go over there, but go to fundlaunch.com/call. You guys can go book a call. And it looks like they are running out quickly. I bet if I refresh my screen here, look at it, a couple more just went away right there. So this is your last chance. Book it quickly, by the way. Sometimes I've had people messaging like, it's not working for me. Sometimes somebody is clicking on the same time slot as you and it's going away because it's getting booked out. So this kind of look at a couple more just went away. So we have just a few more spots for tomorrow. You guys can go from there. All right. So grab that. I'll give you guys a second here. Feel free to open up Safari, Chrome. All right. Jignesh and Robbins.
Hey, Bridger, how are you?
Welcome on, you guys. Good to have you guys here. Real quick, I'll just give a huge shout out to these two. I'm excited that they're on today. Jignesh and Robbins, we were just a few weeks ago in Alaska fishing. These guys are part of our, because they were in Black Card and then Whale Group's kind of our top group. We only have 15 members and we go around the world, do fun stuff. These guys have reported 85 million AUM for their fund, and they've done syndications for years, finally launched a fund model. During COVID, they had a very interesting time. COVID hit hotels very hard. People couldn't travel. They couldn't come around. I'm excited to hear their story for both these brothers. These guys are awesome dudes. I'm excited they're on today. And they're going to talk well beyond this and kind of what they're planning and doing for Q4. So with that, Robbins and Jignesh, welcome on. Good to see you guys.
Hey there. Hey, how are you? Can you hear us?
Oh, sorry. It cut out for me. Welcome on, you guys. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, it's working.
All right, guys. How are you?
So good. Good to have you guys on. So if people haven't met you before, I gave you kind of a summary. Anything else you'd add to that resume of things you guys have done or built?
Yeah, I think I can add some more. So we are from Newton, Massachusetts, from New England area. So we have a hotel company. We've transacted at this point, I think, close to 200 million. We added a couple more hotels after this. So we buy and operate hotels out of multiple states in and around Boston, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire. We've been around since 2004, and we started the fund model last year. So we'll talk about all of that pretty soon. And we are about to close Fund 1 and launching Fund 2 in parallel.
Well, it's fun to see you guys growing and what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. So I know you just said you had an investor call. Let's dive into the meat and bones right now of where you see the market at. I mean, hotels and real estate in general, there's been a lot of question marks about interest rates going up, where are things going, are defaults happening, are they not happening? I talked about this a little bit on my segment, but I'd love to hear, what are you two seeing in the market right now over the next, let's call it 6 to 18 months? What do you see going on in the hospitality sector?
Can I talk about performance?
Sure. So performance for hospitality sector is very local, right? So let's say you hear in the media, for the country, the ADR occupancy is going to decline by 5% in 2024. But you have to look at specifics. So we look at our area, the Boston suburban market or the New England market. For 2024, the projection is the revenues are going to increase by 5%. This year has been very good as well. It's better than last year overall for our entire portfolio. But within our portfolio, there's different pockets. Leisure, right? Leisure is very strong right now, but it's not as strong as last year for some of the markets. Some markets where rates were super high, let's say $600-700 a night, we are seeing some decline, and we are thinking the reason being like those same people who could not travel overseas, they can now go to Europe. It's all open. The currency is more favorable. But we have certain hotels which are in a different leisure market in the state of Maine and some of them in New Hampshire. They are doing amazing. So for us, this year is forecasted to be great. Some of the hotels are not as good as last year, and next year is going to be good as well. So unless something crazy happens, we should be okay in our market. But when we look at the data for the entire country, there are some projections that the businesses might, the occupancy may slow down and all that. So
Really interesting. So yeah, you guys are seeing, it seems like everything's good in that flow. So you do not foresee, 'cause I know you guys work in the distressed space. Do you see more distressed properties coming online right now? Are you guys preparing for that? Or do you see, you know what? It's kind of the same as it's always been.
I think there was a month ago, a 19 hotel portfolio from a public REIT came on the market, distress. They were trying to, refinance their debt, and they tried to get offers, but they got 0 offers above their debt. So they could not transact. So they had to give the keys to the bank. So, and one of the reasons it didn't transact is since the banking crisis in March with the Silicon Valley crisis, lending has become difficult for commercial real estate. And the same hotel, for instance, we just bought a hotel in May, it was a distress sale. If I was pitching that hotel to lenders before March 15th, before the SVB crash, I would have gotten 5 term sheets and all amazing offers, right? And after March 15th, I got 3 term sheets and 2 were lousy, right? And I had 1 good one. You just need 1 good one to make it work for you, right? But I was working 3, 4, 5 times harder and only got 3 term sheets from various. I made so many phone calls. So you got to work harder right now to get a good term sheet from a lender. There are loans out there. We prefer to work with local and regional lenders. We don't work with national lenders. We try to build relationships with them. In fact, we are meeting lenders on a weekly basis. So when I call them for a loan, they're not hearing from us for the first time. They know who I am. They know what I do. So it's a long game, right? You got to sow the seeds, be out there, talk to folks. So when you reach out to them for financing and what have you, it becomes a little bit better, right? So
well, it's interesting too, because you guys are, repeat customers at these regional banks, and you're still getting, we talked about this in Alaska, the debt market has just been tough to get any financing. Are you seeing, since we've talked last, banks still being very stringent, especially with you guys that are, a sizable customer for them? I would assume if you're smaller, it's even harder to get good financing and good debt. How does this play out, do you think, over the next 12 to 16 months? Do you think banks are going to loosen up? Do you think lending will come back? Do you think it's just going to get harder and harder? What do you guys think?
I went to several meetings where we have industry meetings. We go to them all the time to see what's happening in the market, get a pulse. When you look at capital markets, larger banks that package loans and sell them as securities, or you look at national, regional, local lenders, the sentiment is that what we hear from them is for the next 18 months, for the foreseeable 18 months, what they are talking about is rest of the year and 2024, they don't see the lending environment changing. The interest rates are expected to stay high. The SOFR rates, which is the bellwether benchmark for lending in our business, that's expected to stay high. So they're not expecting, the rates back to 3-4% level that we saw before the banking crisis. And even right now, we are looking at financing for one hotel right now. I got a term sheet just yesterday, which was at least 85 basis points more than my closing that we had in May, right? So we are paying a little bit more. We're getting things done. The only way to do it is you got to, pay proportionately. So here's what's going on, right? I'm also a seller. We are also selling a hotel. So sellers want 2021 prices and buyers want to pay 2009 prices. So that's a bid-ask spread is there, right? And as a seller, I want a higher price, but I understand what's happening. So I'm adjusting my expectations, but not many sellers are doing that. So Bridger, deals are not happening as a result of the spread issue.
And that is not as many deals are happening. And here's one anecdotal evidence, right? So the new loan that we are getting, we have to get an appraisal done. In the past, to get an appraisal done quickly, they would charge us like $10,000-12,000. We got a quote for like $4,000 now to get an appraisal in 2 weeks. So the appraisers are not as busy. So they are, the same appraiser would charge us like 3 times what they are quoting right now. So So deals are not happening.
Deals
Not as
are-
many deals are
not
happening.
many, not
Yeah,
many
that's
deals.
interesting because you have, just this big bid ask spread right now across all real estate. At least what I hear from my real estate guys is just transactions not happening, which trickles down actually through the economy. There's a lot of people involved when a real estate deal happens. You have the brokers, the appraisers, all the agents that are on either side, the people that do the documents, the paperwork, the title companies. I mean, there's a lot of people that get paid. I think Pace Morby, I was talking to last week, is like 21 people on a single family house have to get paid for any deal to happen. 21 people.
Yeah.
And so when deals are just not happening, it slows down all those business. I think that's very interesting about appraisals. Where do you guys see that going? Do you see, a lot of people are pointing to like Q4 of 2021 rates coming down. How do you think that bid ask spread will come together? Do you think sellers are going to run out of war chests and say, you know what, we're gonna have to just take this or just give the keys back to the bank, like you said that REIT did? Or do you think buyers are going to say, you know what, I guess inflation's here. Maybe these properties are worth more, even with the debt, and we're just going to come up. Where do you guys see, what side do you see giving in first on that bid ask spread?
When we are a buyer too, right? So when we go out and bid, there's still a lot of equity on the sideline. There's a lot of money on the sideline chasing deals, right? So we still get outbid by big numbers, right? And we wonder, what's going on, right? Why are we, what's happening, right? So there is a lot of money on the sideline. So until that happens, the sellers will get, what they are trying, they're aiming for a higher value. So if you have a property, real estate is local, right? If you have an amazing property, amazing multifamily, amazing hotel, amazing self-storage, great location, you're going to get a premium for that, and you're going to have to pay a premium for it. And because those things will perform, right? So there are pockets where there'll be valuations which you will, scratch your head and say, what happened? At the same time, there are, we are value add players, right? So we look at buying properties. We buy properties like Marriott, Hilton, Best Western, Hyatt. We buy 75 to 150 rooms. That's our buy box. And we like to buy hotels where we can, purchase them at a discount. We like troubled assets, fix them, renovate them, and then, get them stabilized. So by the time they're stabilized in 3 to 5 years, we want to exit, right? The market is hopefully recovered by then, and we can exit. So that's what we've been doing. We bought 6 hotels in the last 1 year, and we're buying them at 20 cents on a dollar to 40 cents on a dollar right now. So we're finding them.
Yeah.
It's harder.
I love it. Thank you guys for sharing different kind of gears. I want to hear about this move from, you guys were syndicators for a while.
Yeah.
You then launched your first fund. Talk about that movement. I'm sure there's actually in the chat, if you guys are a real estate person, where's my real estate people at? Type in real estate in the chat if you guys are a real estate person that wants to either, maybe you're currently running a fund or doing syndications, or maybe just starting out, but okay, we got a lot of people doing real estate in the chat here. Okay. So for all these people that are in real estate, you guys have been in real estate for a while before launching an official fund. In real estate, most people either start with their own money or they do small syndications. What was your guys' move though? Talk about this move from you were doing syndications to a fund and how that changed your business.
Yeah, we did 10 syndications prior to launching a fund. So we started in 2004 with a small motel, friends and family money, and then over time graduated to a Marriott, Hilton type of product. And we were still doing syndications. And, we didn't know about funds. We had no idea, right? And then COVID hit us, and, we wanted to see how we do business differently. And when I was working out on my basement on the treadmill, I see your videos pop up on YouTube about funds, right? That's the that's the story. And I was researching on funds quite a bit, and your videos start popping up, and we deep dove into it. We started learning all about funds in later part of 2021, and we were convinced that that's the model to grow. We wanted to scale. So what was happening, Bridger, is as we were getting mature with syndications, we were getting oversubscribed. So in the last hotel that I purchased in 2020, I was raising $4.5 million. We got $7 million in commitments. So we were getting oversubscribed, right? So there was investors liked us. So now we said, let's have a better model. So fund model was perfect for us. And it's not for everybody, right? And we had a long game. We had built up this, we had 35 or so investors at that point, unique investors. And when we started the fund, right now we have 100 plus unique investors. We got a lot more investors that joined the fund. So that was a transition for us, right? And now
Yeah.
that's what we are doing. We are just doing funds. We can scale it. We've been able to buy 6 hotels in the last 1 year with the fund. Now we are starting another $100 million fund to do new construction hotels and existing hotels throughout the country. So it allows us to scale instead of doing one-off deals, right? The work is the same. It's just that now we can scale it faster, right? And at the same time, we have to scale our company too,
Yep.
right? So
Also, like the work is the same. Funds are a great vehicle to get investors, but they are not easy. I would recommend that everybody learn everything to do about funds from Bridger and all. Learn everything about how a fund is set up, what to do, because when you set up a fund, you will have a million questions asked by investors, and you better know each and everything, how everything performs. You cannot just say, oh, let me ask the attorney. So read everything, listen to all the videos. We talked to a lot of other fund managers. Some of them don't even know the basic questions, waterfalls and all that. So you got to learn everything. But you have a great system. Bridget has set up a great system for people to learn.
Well, congrats to you guys. I could talk to you guys for hours and hours and hours. Last question, I'll let you guys go. I'm sure you got to get back to a busy day. I want you to share, if you can, a lot of people right now are in this interesting, it's an interesting market right now. Where do I go? Do I start? It's scary. I don't know what interest rates are going on. The market's in a very, very interesting spot. You guys launched your fund really, and we're doing your portfolio during COVID, which was an interesting time for you. I'd love to hear what you guys, you told me a little bit, but how you communicated with investors during a down period really helped catapult you to where you are now. And so for people that are worried about, well, should I do a fund now or a deal now? Again, make your own investment decisions. But I think there's something very valuable about doing deals during a bear market or during a down market. Everyone can make money when the market's up and to the right. But you guys did something very interesting during COVID. So walk us through what you did during COVID that really helped your investors and built sentiment with them to now.
As soon as COVID hit, right, and it's a doomsday scenario for any business owner, right? You think when things are bad, you think the worst, right? That's human mind, right? So for each of our hotels, we started doing cash flow analysis. When will I run out of cash in company A, company B? And then we do charts, right? And when your occupancy goes from 80%, 90% to 20%, you're trying to survive, right? And so we started communicating with investors monthly basis instead of quarterly. Every week as well.
Yeah.
So let them know what's going on, right? What are we doing? Are we downsizing? Are we getting relief from lenders? Is the government going to come through? Again, Bridget, this was before PPP money and all of that came in the market, right? So we doubled down. Instead of running away from investors, we ran to them and said, this is what's happening, right? Frequent communication is what to do. And if you have a set of investors right now, if you are someone who is just starting out, right? Communicate frequently, communicate clearly, communicate often, know your stuff, know your PPMs. You got to know your PPM. Bridget talks about it all the time. And then, talk about if, we have hotels, some of the hotels, we are seeing some declines. So we disclose that. We talk about it. Yesterday, we had a, investor call last night. We told them, what's good, what's not so good, and what's amazing, right? So they have to understand it's a long game. You build trust by doing things repeatedly, consistently, and then communicating effectively, right? So
I love that so much.
We don't email every week. We're not, spamming our investors. Maybe we do one email every month right now on a normal time. But when times go tough, you want to be in their, in their face more often.
Yeah, I love it. So I run a crypto fund. We've communicated a lot this last 12 months because crypto has been just very interesting. We've had a lot of crashes and companies blowing up and crazy stuff. And our investors have really liked that. We've thrown events, we do Zoom calls. It could be a letter, whatever it is, but you guys leaned into your problems. I think that's such a valuable thing for people on this call. They leaned into the market and said, hey, you know what? I'm not just going to report when numbers are really good. I'm going to report when numbers are bad as well. And that's okay. I'm a fund manager. I'm going to always give it to you straight. That's what I tell my investors. I'll always give it to you straight. If it's really good, I'll give it to you straight. If it's bad or ugly, I'm going to tell you exactly where our fund is. And what happens is it builds a lot of trust between those investors. Because one of the biggest things that investors are underwriting for is fraud. It's hard to underwrite for fraud or someone's going to steal your money. Hey, at least I know if I'm investing with Jignesh and Robbins or Bridger, you know what? If we're losing, if we're down 8%, they're going to tell me. They're not just going to lie and try to fudge the numbers. They're going to tell me, or if we're up 8% or 10%, they're going to tell me where we're at. So, Jake Nash and Robbins, thank you guys for coming on today. Phenomenal. I'm guessing you guys are on Slack. I know that, and Discord. So if people want to go, meet you guys, is that okay if they come find you on Slack or Discord and connect with you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you all so much for coming on, Jake Nash Robbins. Give them a huge round of applause in the chat if you guys can. Drop an emoji for them. Give them, I don't know how we do a chat in a Zoom call, but give them some emojis or something in the chat room. But thank you guys so much. And we'll hop back on. We got our last speaker coming on today. Here we are. So thank you, Jake Nash and Robbins. Mason just messaged me and gave me a little thing here. They have opened up a few more spots for if you guys want to call in on Black Card. I think we had booked out. Somebody mentioned too they're in Europe and the UK and couldn't book, but hopefully I think we can message you guys directly and go from there. We have our last speaker coming on, so we'll have him come on, and then we are going to do a Q&A. I'll just be live. We can talk. I have a bunch of good questions, so I'll just stay on here, pull up my iPad. We can just hang out. Sound good? Okay, maybe take a little stretch for a second as we get in. Last thing, I'll just pull up Black Card again. You guys have already seen this already. When we just go down here, you got coaching calls, all that kind of stuff. You guys want to book another call? I'll give you like 1 to 2 minutes while we get our next speaker behind the scenes prepped. You guys get your account managers, all this cool stuff, your pitch deck designs, all this cool stuff with Black Card. So let me just go down to this screen here. Again, final call for Friday. It's actually really cool. You guys can bring your kids and spouses to this event. Last year, a bunch of people brought their families. We had some incredible people come and like, kids that were in grade school or college. Think about if your college kids could come and learn from 300 fund managers and just be in Hawaii. And we're going to have, so we usually, how we do it, the day is usually really fun. We are at the pool, we're going on hikes, and it's kind of free time. You can do whatever. So you can hang out with your family and kids during the day. And then at night, we start the session. So usually at night, we start these sessions. I'm sorry, let me get to this link. You guys can go book a call there. At night, we do the session. So we'll start at like 5, 6, 7 p.m. and we'll go till like, 11, midnight, something like that. One of the nights we went to like 2 a.m. We were up. Everyone was like, we'd finished the session, but everyone just stayed up talking and chatting. We had whiteboards out. My dad was out there. I think my dad was funny. He said, literally my dad was there. He goes, I'm going to stay up. I'll be the last person here. I will answer whatever questions you have. Again, this is a fund manager formerly, managed $48 billion family of funds. I think today now, I think he retired a year and a half ago. He's like, I'll stay up as late as anybody wants. And he stayed up, and the crowd, it was like 20 people were talking to him, and then it was like 10, and then it was 8, and then it was 5, and then it was 3. And then it was the last person there was literally Veena Jetty. If you heard Veena speak at our event, she told this story. And it was like 2:30 in the morning. There was like 2 people, and she's just asking questions. And she was like, and she said, I'm going to ask every question I have. And my dad said, great, ask away. And literally she goes, I think you've answered every question I have. I think we can go to bed, and they said, okay. And there was literally like the last 2 people. It was her and my dad and one other person was there. So that was pretty cool, to come to an event and have that kind of access to people that you never can talk to these people. We bring people in that just they don't have social media. They don't have LinkedIn. They don't care, but we bring these people in and they're there for 2 days. People that do not have time, that never go on. Most fund managers are pretty private. They don't do much, but they can come to our events and they talk and they share, and you get to hang out with them for a couple of days, which is pretty cool. So final call there on how are we doing there? Oh, it looks like we only have 30 hotel rooms left, like actual rooms. So we only have, I just got my message on my board over here. There's only 30 hotel rooms left for the Black Card Summit. We are like, the hotel is like booked out. We have that many people coming. So we have booked out like the entire hotel. There's only 30 rooms left. And Friday is the drop dead deadline to book any of those rooms. So if you guys are current Black Card members and haven't booked, or if you're joining right now or want to join, again, it's first come, first serve on the rooms. We don't prioritize anybody. It's just first come, first serve. Friday is the drop dead deadline. We might be booked out before then. So I would book a call soon if you guys can, and go there. All right. We got our last fund manager coming on. He's good. He's in the back room. Okay. So our next fund manager. Oh, there he is. Percy. Good to see you. Okay. So Percy, give it a little bit and he can talk himself up here, but 185 million AUM through his funds and syndications, has 1,200 units in multifamily right now, and also had 10 years experience as an angel investor prior to doing his funds and kind of with his funds as well. So with that, can you guys give me a huge virtual round of applause to Percy? Welcome on, Percy. How you doing?
I'm well, Bridger. Thanks for having me, and humbled to be on this virtual stage.
Well, it's fun to have you. If I gave you about 10 seconds of hype up, give us a little more color though on you, your funds, your background of what you've done.
Sure. So as you can see, I'm an old guy, right? At least compared to all the folks in Fund Launch. And I going back maybe 20 years ago, I had a tech company. I sold the tech company, started to invest in a lot of different asset classes, started doing some angel investing. At that time, also started to get some real estate. And as many folks who enter into real estate, at that time, it was primarily single family, fix and flips, a small portfolio of rentals. And then as time goes on, at least in real estate, you realize that it's hard to scale single family. So that's when we sort of switched more to the multifamily side, started to invest and just manage our own portfolio. And then in 2017-ish, there were some folks who came to us, said, hey, we'd like to invest with you. And so we created Penn Capital as a vehicle to do that. And we've done about 9 syndications in Penn Capital. And then last year, we launched a fund really at the tail end of last year. And, we're still in the process. It's our first true fund going across multiple assets. We want to get 3 to 4 multifamily assets. We just purchased our first one in April. And we're currently in, let's say, best and final offers on a couple others. So we're hoping to get a few more this year and maybe one in the next quarter, or rather quarter of 24.
Well, let's dive into that right away. So again, another, a lot of people in here in real estate. Now, multifamily, you guys are actively buying right now. You have bids in. Some people are very scared of multifamily right now. What makes you guys bullish, and where do you see the market going specific to multifamily?
Yep. So our thesis is that first and foremost, commercial real estate in general has been a good hedge against inflation, right? And we're headed in that space. And multifamily in particular within the commercial real estate sub-asset classes has been very stable. If you look at data from the last 20 plus years, you'll see that multifamily is stable. It gives you good risk-adjusted returns. And typically when there is inflation, you can still get some rent growth. Now, a lot of it depends on the market that you're in. And that's the other main thesis of our fund, is that we only operate in, we like to call it high growth, but underserved markets that fly below the radar. It used to be when we first started out, when we were doing our initial syndications, we were in these large gateway cities. And then we started to notice that the cap rates were being compressed. So we actually sold our portfolio in the larger cities at record prices, gave a nice return to our investors. And then we started to focus on markets like Huntsville, Alabama, that fly below the radar, but have very good job growth and good population growth. So we've been investing in the Huntsville market for about 4 years. We've done 7 projects, but now we're also looking at, we call it our next Huntsville. So there are certain markets, I'm not sure I want to give away the names of those markets, but there are some markets in, let's say, the Sun Belt or in the South and Southeast that still fly below the radar, and you can still get decent deals. I'll share an example, if you will. The last acquisition that we just did a few months ago in the fund was a build-to-rent community, and we bought that from the builder. So it was a relatively new construction. They had already leased up the units, and we were still able to buy it at a 6 cap, which is about a 20% discount to the market. So the deals are out there. You just have to look a little harder, I guess, to try to find those true diamonds in the rough. We underwrite literally hundreds of deals. And yes, majority of them don't pencil out. But we're starting to see that, slowly the sellers' expectations maybe are not quite where they need to be yet, but they're starting to be a little more realistic. So, if you have a good relationship in that market, you're a known entity in that market. Like, for example, we were not necessarily the highest bidder on that particular asset that we just bought, but the sellers in this market want surety of close, right? Especially given the, let's say, flux in the capital markets. They wanted to know that, you have not just the sort of track record to close the deals, but you have relationships with the lenders, and perhaps more importantly, you have the equity available. And that's maybe what led us to creating the fund versus going with the syndication model. Is with the fund, we can get some commitments up front, right? And once you have those commitments, you have the dry powder to be able to execute when the deals or the opportunities arise. And that's
Funny,
been our goal.
I'll cut you off there for a second, but one of my mentors said that exact same thing. He said, with a fund, he goes, we'll go bid on a property that's called $100 million. A syndicator will come bid, $100 million. We'll bid 94, but we have surety of close. What you just said, they know we will transact because we have a huge fund behind us. A syndicator trying to get money together and do this. He goes, we will often win that deal at a $6 million discount, because the seller just wants to make sure we can close, and we can close faster with better terms and stuff. And he goes, I just want to echo that before you go on. It's massive. It's massive actually when winning over deals.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to be honest, there's a little bit of an education that needs to happen even with our existing investors to move them from a syndication model to a fund model. But this is exactly what we try to explain, saying, look, once we have the commitments, nothing's really changing in terms of our conservative underwriting, the markets we're focusing on, the type of assets that we're buying. This just gives us the ability to get those similar assets at a much more discounted price. And that's better for everyone, right? Including our LPs. So I think that message is slowly starting to come across and resonate with them. And plus you get things like some.
What do you? Let me ask, what on debt markets, our last, Jignesh and Robbins were talking about, it's been hard to get good debt from banks. Banks have been very stringent. How have you guys seen that on they're on the hotel side. How have you guys seen on the multifamily side? Is the debt market's been good or bad, or where has it been?
Yeah, the last year has been somewhat challenging. The one benefit of multifamily as opposed to maybe some other commercial real estate is that Fannie and Freddie are there and their mandate is to help underwrite a certain, I forget what the number is, but it's in the probably tens of billions of dollars worth of multifamily, right? They want to provide housing. And because there's a huge need for housing in the country, with this mandate from Freddie and Fannie, it sort of helps us a little bit. So there are still some lenders out there that will make some loans. Yes, their criteria has changed quite a bit. The loan to value is not as high as they used to lend, but you can still get, like even today, you can probably get 60 to 65% loan to value on what they call an agency debt, which is from Freddie or Fannie. Which again, it's not in maybe a few years ago, you could have gotten 70, 75%. So you do need to raise a little more equity. Again, this is where the fund can help out as well if you can get the commitments in the fund. But that's been part of what the struggle these days to raise capital. Yeah.
Walk me through. Well, and actually, I'll pull up some questions here. I want to make sure I hit some questions here if people have any. So drop them in the Q&A section if you have questions for Percy. But walk me through launching your. When exactly did you launch your first fund? And actually, walk me through the previous people. I've asked like the transition, but walk me through the capital raising of your first fund. A lot of people ask me, Bridger, it's. My investors love syndications. They like doing syndications. When I move to a fund, I'm worried that my investors won't follow me to a fund or they don't want to do it. What's been your experience on the capital raising side of moving to a fund and launching your first fund?
Yep, it's a good question. So we launched our fund. So we joined Black Card, I think it was September of last year. So it'll be just about a year, coming up on a year now. And the reason we joined Black Card, to be honest, was so that we can accelerate the deployment of the fund, or sort of shrink the timeline. And so we were very focused on that. We went through a lot of the modules. We went into legal, and we pretty much were able, by I'd say the beginning of December, we're able to launch our fund. So that's a relatively compressed process, and because we had done some of the syndications, et cetera, that certainly helped. And then we had started conversations with our investors, because we do a 506c, so we're allowed to sort of advertise, have these conversations. So even while our legal docs were being prepared, we were having some conversations, making sure people understood that we're coming out with a fund, spoke to our existing investors, but it was a bit of a challenge because it is a quote unquote blind pool fund. So even investors who have invested with us in multiple deals, they want, they like the psychological comfort of seeing the deal in front of them. So that is definitely a challenge that we faced. But again, we had to overcome that by explaining the benefits of the fund, like we just touched on, having that dry powder and being able to get good deals, as well as some diversification. So for some people, it was a no-brainer. They were able to make that transition and they just came into the fund. For others, it was more of a leap, and quite honest, we're still having conversations with some of our investors who still prefer to come on a deal-by-deal basis, right? So I think you are going to see that. So at least for the short term, we're going to do both. We're going to have deal-by-deal, like a SPV or single special purpose vehicle for our deal, and then have the fund come in as an LP into that deal.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, congrats on your guys' success and what you've built. And anyways, this just amazing. I'm looking through a few of these questions here. I want to make sure, somebody's asking about locating investors. You obviously had your existing LP base, which was good as well.
But just to maybe answer that, so we do also, okay, we have a lot to do in terms of better marketing and, getting new investors, right? But we did run some campaigns as well on social media and different ad platforms, et cetera, to get our folks,
how did that turn
investors.
out? How was ad, running from a 506? I get the question a lot, and I love asking, how was that running ads and getting into a landing page? Did you call, like, what would you guys do on that? And how did that work?
Yep. So again, we've been doing that for our syndications as well, because we did 506C syndications. So we've been able to refine the process over the years, right? And our CPL, or cost per lead, you can start out pretty high, but over the years we've learned to use some tricks of the trade and sort of dial it down. So at our best performance was around $17 to $20 per CPL, which is fantastic because normally it's around 90 to 150. But one thing that I will say that does help is, even when you have the fund, if you have a deal you're looking to bring into the fund, you can use that as a carrot and drive people right into the fund. So you have to set up a sales funnel, and some of that is covered in the Black Card program. But there's a lot of marketing expertise that needs to go along with raising capital. Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love to hear the whole capital raising strategy and everything. And congrats to you guys and what you've done. Last question. We'll let you get back to work. If someone's on this call, maybe they're a real estate person, they've done a couple of deals, they've done a few syndications, and they're considering moving to a fund or not, and not even just that question, but just advice to your younger self. What advice would you give to somebody maybe on this call that's maybe a younger version of Percy on here, wondering, should I start? Should I not do this? Like, should I go down this road? What would you say to maybe a younger version of yourself?
No, honestly, I think if we had to do it all over again, we would actually start a fund a little earlier, because I think some of the challenges that we outlined are going to take place regardless of when you started. So the sooner you can overcome those and start sort of getting some more traction in the fund, the better off you'll be, right? And there's a lot of data out there that shows that when you actually start new endeavors or new businesses during a downturn, they actually tend to perform better. So, there's always a silver lining on the cloud, and that's my silver lining is if you're wondering whether you should start or not, yes, I would say go ahead, start. A lot of it obviously depends on your strategy, what unique offering you can bring to your investors, and knowing your LPs, right? So sit down with them, have a chat with them, understand what their investment goals and objectives are, and then see how you can help meet those objectives.
I love it. Great advice. And it's funny that that's our first speaker said the same thing. He's like, I wish we just would have started earlier, because funds compound and you get started and you learn the mistake. You got to learn them eventually. So it's better to get started, get investors wins, and just start moving, because things compound over your time. Percy, thank you so much for coming on today. Phenomenal having you on. Congrats to your fund. I'm excited to keep you guys in the loop and just keep me up to date on your fund, your growth and everything. I'm just so excited for you. Congrats. If you guys in the chat can give Percy a huge virtual round of applause, maybe drop in your favorite emoji into the chat if you can, or just say thank you in the chat. Just type that in for Percy. Thanks for coming on and for all the guests that came on today. It was fantastic. So thank you again, Percy. I'll let you get back to work, but thank you, brother. See ya.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Wasn't that awesome, you guys? That was sweet to have those three, actually 4 fund managers come on today and talk about their different corners of the internet or not internet, excuse me, corners of the fund world, what they're doing. And it's pretty fun. Now, as promised, I said I'd stay on and do a Q&A with you guys and talk. It looks like I think we are pretty much booked out for calls. I don't know if Mason or do you have any updates on calls? I think we're like booked out. Maybe you guys can type in the chat or something. I guess Mason just put in a link. So maybe there's one more spot or two. I don't know. Go check it out. If you guys want, fundlaunch.com/call. If you want to learn more about Black Card, go check it out. Now I'm going to pull up my iPad here. The iPad of truth and justice, as it has come to be known. We will talk more. And I want to literally just do a true Q&A. We're alive for a reason. So I want to just hear your questions, where you guys are at. Any question you got, throw it. If you can, throw it in the Q&A, not the chat. The chat gets muddled because there's so many chats going on. The Q&A actually queues them up for me and I can see them really well on my end. So drop them in the Q&A. We may even bring a couple people live. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what we want to do. We'll see what we want to do. If your question's good enough, I might bring you on live with me. We just talk face to face. But drop a last kind of call for fundlaunch.com/call. If you guys want to book a call with our team, Friday is the deadline. Again, you get 1 year access to Black Card of our whole group. You have the Fund Launch Marketplace, 15 specialty coaches, which are actually coaches that are all around the world. We have coaches from the UK, Canada, all over the country on different segments of the market that come in, and you can meet with them whenever you want. They have we have a full segment of process of how to meet with coaches, but then they do office hours. So every single day of the week, literally every day of the week, we have a coach going live. You can hop in with their office hour, get questions answered. I do my office hours every Wednesday. You can come live with me. Lincoln goes live every Monday. We have our private Discord channel you guys can join and be a part of. And by the way, for people that aren't maybe in Black Card, we have our top tier of Discord. We also have our kind of normal Discord. It still is a paid Discord, just because we wanted to kick out people that are bots or people that are scammers. Like I think it's $20 a month. It's pretty low. It's almost, but what that does is make sure bots don't join and like spam the whole group. But let me actually share. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys what it looks like in here for the insider group. So this is the Wall Street Rebel insider group. Here's the screen. So you can come. Oh, let me turn that off. So right up here, Black Card members have access to all this stuff. So they can come in here and we do live calls. You can see all the links every single day. There's a coach going live. You can see all the links and we drop all of our updates and everything in here. We have our networking channel introductions. This is just for Black Card. But when you scroll down, we have our Academy members, but just right down here to our general. This is our general group. So we do live calls in here. We have networking sessions we're doing. You guys can join. We're streaming this live in here right now. We have all of our cool bots. We have a terminal bot. Brings it kind of like a Bloomberg terminal, just up to date. I think it's like 40 to 50 updates a minute that come in here. Our stock market bot that brings in charts and cool stuff from the stock market, stuff that's watching, euro, US dollar, different things we put on there. Right now we have a real estate bot coming in. Should be pretty cool. We also have our AI tool. So we have an image generator that can generate images for you. You can pull from different AI tools that you can ask to write your, theses and other things for your pitch decks. And we have one that does Excel specifically. So it actually pulls and will fix stuff in your Excel, or build formulas for you. You can all go in here. But overall, the purpose of this group is to connect our community. We do live meetups. We had a live meetup last week in Austin. Actually, I showed up. We were there. We had all our people in Austin. I'm actually going to Houston in a couple of weeks. We're doing a big meetup in Houston. I'll be in Orlando next month. We'll be in Greenwich. We're going to be in. So we'll do meetups to this group and like in person. We had our Cars and Coin. Anyone in the group was able to come to Cars and Coin, our headquarters, and come be here with us, which was pretty fun. So again, this opens up only once a month. Or if you know a friend that's in Discord, they actually can invite you and you can actually join anytime. So that's kind of the backdoor access. It's like pretty much locked up unless someone refers you to the group. And so you can get referred in. And by the way, if you refer a friend, you get a 50% commission on their subscription, which is pretty cool. Again, we don't really care about money. It's more about bringing in really quality people. So if you know someone in the group that can send you a referral link, you can actually join today. Otherwise, you can, I think only once a month, we're going to open this thing, open and close it. So you can join the wait list. So either way, if you want to drop a link for Discord, you can do that as well in there. You also get access to a bunch of courses. So you have your capital games playbook, a $297 course. Your first deal course are for free for members of Discord. So you get a full course on funds, on how to do your first deal, how to actually go out and raise capital, big course. We've actually sold these courses for hundreds of dollars in the past. You get totally for free when you join. We have live calls, all that kind of stuff you guys get in here. And you can join actually on a 7-day free trial. It's literally only $20 a month. If $20 a month is too much for you, maybe this group isn't right for you. Okay. But that's the reason we do that, is just to kind of kick out bots or scammers and have like real legit people here. So there you go on that. Okay. Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, we have a few plans. We want to come to Dallas as well. I know this will be like we're going to Texas though twice in the next 2 months, just because I'm speaking at different events there. All right, let's hit some of the Q&A here. Okay, here we go. When you raise, so I'm gonna do a little magic here. Let's see what we got. I got my cord. Oh, perfect. This is the exact right cord I need. Just sitting next to my decks. All right, let me share my screen here. So let's talk about capital raising. When you raise funding, do you have a actively recruit investors, or do you get oversubscribed through referrals and fill it through your network of people you already know? Good question. And I'll kind of share what's worked for me with capital raising, but every fund is going to be different with capital raising. So let me know if you guys can see my iPad here. Yeah. Thumbs up. Okay. I love it. So let's talk about capital raising. And this might help a couple other questions. People are asking about capital raising. Now it's kind of cool. You heard from a few of those guests that came on about their capital raising strategies. Jignesh and Robbins, they had done syndications, which I think are great, by the way. I know our company's called Fund Launch. We help people launch funds. We also help people do syndications in Black Card or in any of our groups. Like I'm totally fine. If you want to do your first syndication, like we'll help you figure it out. My little pencil's like glitching out on me. If you're trying to do your first deal, that's actually why in Discord, we have a full course on doing your first deal, whether it's real estate or buying a business or doing a hedge fund incubator. Like we want to help you launch that. There's so much power in doing your first time of raising capital. And what happens is, people will give you typically a trial investment. They're going to test you out. You're brand new. It's your first time raising capital. You know what? I'm going to give you a test. However, if you do good with that test, they will compound that and typically give you more later. That's why it's funny hearing from I've been saying this for years. It was good to hear from those fund managers as well. Like there is so much power in compounding, in starting, even if it's small. My first fund, it really was a syndication, was $49,500 when I was 22 years old. And I had I think it was 7 investors put money in. They kind of were business partners. They put money in. But really it was a trial investment. They were putting in like $5,000 to I think somebody put in $15,000. Like it was test, but I did really well with it. Like I said before, you guys remember the number? We got a 64% return on that money. So all these 7 people were like, that's cool. So our next fund, I said, hey, we're going to raise, I'm like the first, I'm 22 still at the time. I think we went and raised initially like 400,000. And it was open-ended fund. So we kept raising. Then that went to 500,000. And then it went to 600. And then it was 800. And then it was 9. I can't remember the number we got up to. It was around $1 million. And then we were rolling all this money because we were doing these loans about every 2 months. We'd roll about $1 million every 2 months. And so over a year, we were doing, I don't know how many millions of dollars of loans we were doing because we would roll the money and our investors were getting great returns. And they were telling, these 7 investors told their friends. So that turned into more and more people. And then it got bigger and we were oversubscribed. So we actually were turning investors away. I said, sorry, I can't take your money because we don't have enough loans to come through. And so we were building this and it was actually a really cool problem to have. Is like, because we did good with a little bit of money, we were blessed to have more money. Little principle from the New Testament right there, right? If you do good with a little bit, I'll give you, you'll be blessed with more. And so, as a steward of capital. And so we then eventually sold that. We had a competitor come and paid a, good amount of money for that. We sold that entire fund. And then we went out and launched our new fund. We raised, we had like capital in the door of just about 10 million. We actually had verbally raised about $35 million. Kind of crazy, actually. I'll tell you this. And by the way, I'll just give it to you straight up. This is our fund, our Ugly Unicorn fund. We had about 35. This is when we were first launching. This is like Q1 of 2022. Is this right? 2022. Yeah. people were loving crypto. Crypto was going to hit $100,000. You guys remember this? This is like end of 2021. Crypto was amazing. And so everyone was excited. We had all these commitments. We launched June 1st of 2022, which if you look at a crypto chart is right when crypto was crashing. May, crypto crashed like crazy. Then you had the Luna Terra. Then you had Three Arrows Capital. It was this whole blow up. So we ended up capital like wired to us was right around 10 million. Okay. From 35, which we were okay with. We had people that, you know, hey, I was going to give you 2 million. You know, now I'm going to give you 500,000. We said, okay, you know, give us your money. Again, a trial investment. You can add more later. And so people have now added more and we've grown from there. But, you know, that was a big drop because crypto was crashing at the time and the market was crashing too. But I've seen a lot of people, it's a, you know, I see a lot of people, it's about a 50%. You know, if you verbally raise 20 million, you'll probably end up with 10 actually wired in the door. But then again, though, if you have $10 million and you're doing real estate, you can lever that up and buy maybe 40 million of real estate, depending on how much leverage you want to put on. So all of a sudden your AUM is $40 million. You know, you raise $100 million of capital, you can go buy up $300 to $400 million, depending on debt markets. Currently, debt markets are going down a little bit, but again, that's kind of where your AUM lands, which is pretty cool. That's a cool way how funds, you know, work. Hedge funds, sometimes they allow you a lot more leverage. You know, you can raise our fund. We have zero leverage on, actually. We put zero leverage, but a lot of hedge funds will raise 10 million and they'll go out and trade $100 million or maybe even 200 million is how much leverage they are putting on that fund with that much down. So sorry, I forgot the total question. What was the question? I'm just riffing here. When you raise funding, do you have to proactively recruit investors? Oh yeah. So back to raising capital, you're always raising capital. No, I mean, you're always raising capital. And again, I love, you know, we teach this in the fund launch community. This will answer a lot of your guys' questions, but the 3 circles, this is your expert. This is every fund has these 3 distinct roles. Your expert investor person, your fund manager, and your capital raiser. Typically, the person who's good at this isn't good at this. And typically the person that's good at capital raising usually isn't good at, you know, deploying the capital. It's funny. People keep asking me, Bridger, where are, you know, the expert investors, or where are the capital raisers? Where are the fund managers? Last week, we did a meetup in Austin, Texas. So you guys, I think if you're in Discord, you were all invited. I show up, guys there, he's like, hey, I've raised about $130 million for charities over the last few years. And I was like, really? And raising money for charity is not easy because it's just a sunk cost. You know, I guess you get a tax benefit, but you know, and I was like, oh, okay. He goes, I want to transition to a fund model, you know, to funds. And so do you have any funds that like would want me to come raise capital for them? And I was like, yeah, let me connect you, you know? And so these people are out there, they are, you know, and they are there and they are doing this. I had a guy who was, well, I'll just leave it with that to save time. Expert investors. There's a lot of these people as well. And you guys, some of you guys, I saw you in the chat talking it up or in Discord, but a lot of people that, you know, do a lot of real estate or trade, they've been trading for 10 years or they have this whole strategy they built out. And all they need is someone who's really good at running a fund or raising capital to partner with them. So again, I'm going to just say this, don't feel like you need to do everything on your own. Partner with people who are good at the things you aren't good at. I'll tell you straight up, me, Bridger Pennington, I would call myself maybe just to stroke my ego, but I would say I'm an average investor, maybe a little bit above average because I like to stroke my ego, but by no means am I an expert investor, Bridger. But I'm pretty darn good at this circle. I'm pretty good at fund manager, and I'm also a decent capital raiser. And so what I do is I go partner with people that are really good expert investors. As you said at the beginning, we have 8 portfolio funds that we work with now. We go find really good operators that are really good expert investors, and we partner and bring the fund management and sometimes can bring the capital as well. So that's a really good model. We like it a lot. So, okay, let me hit some of these questions and follow up if you want me to talk more. How taboo is it to approach family offices and ask specifically for a trial investment just to get the ball rolling? Yeah, Brandon, good question there. I wouldn't lead with that if it was me. I'm not going to go into a family office and say, hey, give me just give us a test investment. But what I'll use is I'm going to give them the whole pitch, the whole profile. I'm going to go for the big dollars, right? I'm going for the big dollars. And so hopefully they say yes. And it's kind of your, kind of a down sell. You know, if they tell you no, right? If they're like, we don't want to work with you guys, you go, hey, you know what? Come on. Look at what we're doing. Look at the upside here. I know you guys are whatever the numbers are. Give me a trial. Like, this kind of your down sell. If they say no, give us a trial investment. It's peanuts to you, but give us the chance to prove it to you. And I promise we're going to knock your socks off. And in 2 years or 3 years, you're going to be begging us to put in way more money into this thing. Okay. I would use it as a down sell. I wouldn't lead with that. And maybe in the back of your brain, understand pretty much most allocators are going to give you a trial investment anyways. Even if they say yes. I've actually talked to a few mentors that have said this a bunch of times. They said you're usually the first investment they give you. Let's just call it, just for round number's sake. Oh, what the heck? I got a ruler on here. You guys see that ruler? Where'd that ruler come from? Whoa, there's a ruler tool. Did you guys know there's a ruler on? Oh my gosh. Can I make a straight line with it? Okay. Squirrel. I got way sidetracked with that ruler. I've never seen the ruler tool on wow. Okay. That was kind of fun. Okay. So typically back to so his mentor was telling me, he goes, let's say a family office gives us $1 million. Okay. If we do well with it, the next investment will be typically 3 to 5 times that size. So let's call it 3 to 5 million will be the next. Let's call it, this is fund 1. This would be fund 2. If we do well with fund 1, by the fund 3, it is typically, he said, this is his words, not mine. He runs a multi-billion-dollar fund. He says it's typically 10 to 20 times bigger than the first investment. So if we do well with the first, second, the third investment would be a $10 to $20 million check. Just understand that. Back to the game of just getting started. Even if it feels small, understand if you do well with a small amount of money by fund 2 or as you're growing, every dollar, if somebody gives you $100,000, that might be a commitment of $1 million to $2 million in the future, or 1 million to 10 to 20 million as you grow. Okay. And this is with all your investor types and bases. So I think it's a good thing to keep in the back of your brain. Anyways, hopefully that helped, Brandon. Good question. All right. I vaguely heard about funds, but this is my first time being here. Would I look into a fund in order to open a business? I'm trying to understand funds more. Yeah, Steven, couple things I'll give you totally for free on this call for you guys that are here. I know a lot of you guys, like, your first time here, and like, what are you even talking about? What's a fund? Like, what are these people even doing? So I'm going to share my screen for a second. If you guys are brand new to the fund space, a few things you guys can do. Let me go here. First thing I'm going to say, oh, let me turn that off. All right, is go to fundlaunch.com and just come right here. We have a full, first off, here's the insider group if you want to join. We actually, so again, that's not totally free. It's $20 a month. I totally worth your money. We have multiple courses in there, like I showed before, that walk you through how to do your first deal, how a fund is built, all that kind of stuff. But if you're like, Bridger, I'm brand, I don't even want to pay anything. That's totally fine too. You can come on here. I think you can hit products too as well. But you can come down here. If you're just starting out, this is completely free, $0. The Fund Launch Accelerator course. This is a full course. I think it's like 14, 15 videos that breaks down exactly how funds work, what they even are, how you could use them in a business, or like what even we're talking about here. I would highly recommend this. All you do is click on this link. It literally pulls this open, and let's see if it loads here for me. We've sold this before for some good amount of money, but it's totally free. You guys can just join, bam, boom, 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 and bam, you're in. That's it. Full back-end course. I'll actually show you the back end. Maybe I'll stop sharing my screen though, so you guys don't see my logins. But it's a pretty well built out course. I'll just log in so you guys can't steal my login info, okay? Even though it's free. So you can come here. This is what the courses look like. So when you guys join, come here, you have the Academy course, our mini vault, you have the accelerator. These are actually courses, by the way, you get when you join the Discord. Okay, it's all in here. But you come in here, this is the accelerator course, and bam, you can hop in here. You can see it's like, this is like well built out. Like you can come in here and bam, you click on these modules, and we have certain videos, like we break down. This is me on a whiteboard breaking down how, funds work and how to play bigger, how I started my first fund at 22, how to scale with a fund, what's a waterfall structure. all built in here. You guys can go and start and go check them out. We have little things you can, work on here. You can add notes, all that kind of stuff on here. Totally for free for you guys at funlaunch.com. That's our gift to you. The other thing I would say is go on YouTube. We put out a ton of free content on YouTube. If you go over to YouTube, oh, there we are. We're live right now. If you guys are on YouTube, come over to Zoom. Zoom's where the party's happening. But come over to our channel here. You can just binge a bunch of our content. We talk all about how to do funds and all that kind of stuff. So for free, this is totally free to get you guys started. If you want to hit that next step though, Discord is where, if you want to meet people that are in the game and do all that stuff, Discord is like, bam, is amazing. It's freaking awesome. If you're like just getting started. Also, there's some people though, they're like, dude, when I go in, I'm all in. Blackheart, even if you're not launching a fund, Blackheart is actually really amazing. Come to Hawaii with us, come hang out. You guys can hang out with everybody and be a part of this and just come, be around the people. It's funny, proximity is power. When you're around the thing you want, you tend to get that thing quicker. When you learn about something, when I first learned about funds, my dad was sat down and pulled out the whiteboard, started teaching me about funds. It was so interesting. It was that old principle that Tony Robbins talks about, Ed Mylett for years. They've talked about this. It's the principle of, I call it the when you buy a new car principle. Anybody ever got a new car? Not even a brand new car, but just a new car to you. You got a new Mercedes or a Subaru or a Toyota, and all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. Man, there's all of a sudden there's so many Subarus. All of a sudden there's so many like Toyota, like some Camrys or Corolla or whatever the car is. Man, where's that car? It's not that there's more of those cars. It's just that you started to pay attention to that thing. The same thing is true about funds. If you've set in your brain, and we talked about this earlier, but funds are the best vehicle on earth to get going in your business and your investments. Start learning about it. And what will happen is when you learn about it, you'll start to recognize opportunities for funds in your life. What I did, I started to learn about funds. I was working an internship, a job, and I started an opportunity at the job I was at that I could start a fund that would help the clients inside of the business. I talked to the owners of the company. They loved the idea. They said, let's go start a fund. That's how I launched my first fund, was that exact process. Get in the game and start learning this game and process. Okay. Love it. I'm a third-year finance major, and I don't know if I should work at a firm after graduation to get my Series 7 MBA or start a PE fund with 65. Christian, it's funny. A lot of our people in our group actually don't have Series 7s or Series 65. So you don't need those to launch a fund. Well, crazy enough, there's a lot of states, and depending on the certain class you're in, you actually don't need those licenses to launch a fund, which is kind of cool. It's funny, Christian. Now, those are great if you want to get them. A lot of people I work with like, oh, I need to go to this school, and then I got to get my MBA, and then I got to get 20 years of experience, and then and only then I can start a fund. Now, those are great things to have, but I can just show you time and time again of people that didn't have any of those things and launched these huge funds. My dad is a great example. My dad graduated from a mid-tier school with C's and B's in an economics degree. He just figured out the vehicle, got really good at this vehicle, and started, and then it compounded over time. Myself is the same thing. I'm the same example. I did internships at groups, and I've worked at different funds and stuff, but I partnered with really smart people. I educated me on this space. What's funny is even though I have a lot of friends that go work for whatever, investment bank, and typically they just work on pitch decks. They do low-level grunt work, and they actually don't even learn the business. And they come back to me, Bridger, can you teach me about funds? I worked at a fund for 2.5 years. I don't really get how it runs. And I have to then restart with them and teach them actually how a fund works, how to build one, how to start one, which is crazy. I'm like, you've worked at a fund for 2 years and you don't even get what they're doing. Like, you don't even understand how it works. Anyways, blows my mind. Now, again, all those things are fine. It's nothing wrong with getting a 65 or 7 or getting an MBA. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it's not necessary. So, okay, people are asking for the link. Okay, so join the Wall Street Rebel Insider. That is the Discord link right there. So Mason just dropped it. Drop it again for me, Mason, if you can. Book your game plan call. So if you want to book a call, I don't know if we're out or we have a few calls left, but the Insider group, if you want to join the wait list, you can join it there. Also though, if people have a link or want to promote the Discord or whatever, I'm totally fine with that on this call. But if you're already a member of Discord and have that affiliate link, you can join immediately through the affiliate link if someone refers you to the group. So people that are in the group, if you guys have a link, I'm just giving you a shout out. You can, make some affiliate commission if you want to do that, or you can go join the wait list and join there. I'm fine with either one of them. Not a big deal at all. By the way, if you guys are in Discord, we do that affiliate link. We want it to pretty much just grow from people referring friends, because we want everyone to have a kind of like a connection to the group. We don't want just random people that are just joining. So we actually prefer if people do that referral link. Again, I'll show you where it's at. For people that are in Discord, if you come on here and say invite friends, you can go right here and get, this is a referral link just specific to you, whoever's in here. And then you can actually go and refer your friends. You can go on my YouTube channel. I'm totally fine with that. Go comment on my YouTube videos. Go comment on our Facebook posts. Hey, I have a direct link for you to join Discord because it is locked up. When you go and join on the link that Mason just dropped, it'll put you on a waiting list, which is fine. You can join the waiting list. But if you want to join directly, grab one of those affiliate links or have a friend that's already inside and have them refer you, and it has you join directly. I'll share my screen here. But this is where the affiliate link, or not the affiliate, this is where the wait list is. So you can join here, bam, you can walk through. This is what all is in. We have actually a whole newsletter that goes out. We have a private level community. You have a networking group. We have AI tools. We have a market terminal, monthly. This is a physical newsletter. It gets mailed to you. It's pretty awesome. We can email it to you. Well, we have bi-weekly calls. Actually, it's more than that now. You get all of our course content, VIP access, and then we're adding a bunch of cool stuff right now. So if you want to join, you can click here and join the wait list, or if you have a friend that refers, you can just join right away. But again, it's a 7-day free trial, and then it's $20 a month. Again, if you can't afford $20 a month for all of that, then you're not in the group, which is totally fine. That's why we set that price there. It's pretty low. It's not much, but it's more than a tire kicker would pay. It's more than someone who's just going to come and spam the group would pay. And so the reason we did that is to make the group good. And it's kind of a barrier between people who are bots or scammers and people that are actually legit doing, at least something, have a little bit of skin in the game. So I like doing that with barriers of entry. Dwayne, hey, I'm a Fund Academy member. How do I upgrade to Black Card? Go actually just click that book a call link. Go book a call, and just when you get on the phone, say, hey, I'm already an Academy member. I wanted to upgrade. Totally fine. Just say that on the phone, and we'll help you figure out, make sure it's the right fit, and get it all figured out for you. So yeah, Dwayne, go. I think Mason can drop that link again, but go book a call on there, and we'll go from there. And if that'll be the best spot for you. If for whatever reason, by the way, if the call link isn't working, a couple of you were saying the call link is like sold out. If you want to, what do you think, Mason? Send right now, Adam and or Mason. They're the panelists right now. They're kind of behind the scenes here. Send them a private message with your, name, maybe phone number and email. And what we'll do is we'll have someone reach out to you right away. If for whatever reason that call link isn't working, I know some people are in the UK or something. Just send me right now, send it in a private message so not everyone sees it, but to Adam or Mason behind the scenes, like send them a direct message. Hey, I'm trying to book, or I'm trying to upgrade and it's not working. Here's my name, my phone number, my email, and we'll make sure someone reaches out to you. Maybe I'll reach out to you. How about that? I actually might. We actually only have a couple people we might be full on calls. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll be calling you right now. How about that? All right, other questions. What are the most basic bits of information that investors need to hear before they consider investing? It's actually a good question. Kind of where do you start with your thesis? What I like to do actually is, we do this in our group a lot with our community, is I'll do hot seats. Has anybody been on one of our hot seats? Give me like a yes in the chat if you guys were on any of our hot seats. What we'll do is, like in Black Card or something, we'll bring someone on and like they pitch us and we all poke holes and like tear apart their fund. Now, what happens most of the time is they do a really good job and there's a lot of great things, but it's funny. It's actually interesting to sit as an investor and listen to pitches. When I was first starting my first fund, that was $47,000. Where's that note up here? $49,000 right here. This little fund. I told everyone around me, hey, I have a fund and we're doing lending. So if you guys have any, if anybody needs money, give me a call. And now I was pretty small amount. I didn't tell them how much money I was managing. I just said, I have a fund. I'm looking to deploy cap. If anybody needs a loan, give me a call. And which was true. Those are all true statements. And so people started giving me phone calls. And what was so fun is I had, multiple times a week, I was doing investor pitch. People were pitching me at 22 years old. I had people pitching me on their deal and trying to convince me to invest in their deal, which was very good education. To this point, I don't know how many. I have listened to hundreds, if not thousands of pitches at this point, where people have a pitch deck or design. They're trying to get me in a deal or whatever. And I love listening to pitches because I take a lot of notes. I try to poke holes, even if, and I'll just say this, it might be bad, but when I was first starting out, even if I had no chance of doing a deal. I remember this is actually pretty funny. So I'm running my fund. While I was running my fund, man, this pencil's giving me a hard time here. Let's see if it's working. There we go. So I'm running my fund. And this is, at the time, I can't remember how much we're managing. It was right when we were kind of going, I think we were managing like, let's call it $800,000, which meant though, we were doing, $3 to $5 million of loans a year because we could roll that money. Okay. So we had a guy hop on. He's like, hey, I have a deal. I was like, cool. We set up this big call. And I was an intern in Silicon Valley at a big financial firm. And I was on their corporate finance team. And so I was in Silicon Valley and I was the intern. Okay. The intern. And I'm running a fund and they don't really know that. So I'm running, let's call it around $1 million fund at the time. And I'm doing deals and this big group gets on and it's like during my break or kind of after, but I was at the office. I remember taking the call. I was literally at the offices because I had better internet. So I took the call and they are pitching me on it was like a $50 to $100 million deal. And it was in Las Vegas. I remember they were going to take a whole block of Las Vegas. They had to buy that. They needed like a bridge loan of like 50 to 100 million. And they are pitching me and another guy on the call about doing this deal. And can you pull money together? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to hear your deal. And so they went at it. And one of the other guys had been at this firm for, I think like 10 years, he overheard the call. He like comes, he's like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, we got a big deal going on. So he came and listened in and he thought it was hilarious. But what was cool was I was getting pitched. I wasn't on the meeting or just listening in. I was the one like controlling the meeting at 20. I think I was 24 years old at the time. 24 years old. It wasn't through a firm. This was my firm. They were pitching me as the main GP on a 50 to 100. They needed that much money to bridge because they were doing like a $1.2 billion deal in Las Vegas. And the call was like a 50-minute call. And I was asking a lot of questions. I was like, hey, how can I derive this? How can I make sure this is done right? Like, do you have audits? Do you have a financial? I want to see the thing. And I was really digging in. And the one guy on the call that set up the call. So there was a guy that set up the call. And then there was the guy that was pitching. And then he had brought on like his team, his analysts and stuff. And the guy that set up the call, he's like, at the end of the call, we closed it. He's like, Bridger, man. He's like, those are some really good questions. And I just told him, I said, hey, would you do that deal? Because they weren't, I remember I kept asking for like collateral or I think it was the collateral. I wanted a lot of collateral for this loan. And I said, they had nothing for collateral. I said, how can I justify this to my investors with no collateral? I'm just on a hope and a whim, hoping you're going to pay me back $50 million. Like, how does this even work? Anyways, I can go on and on about the story. But the guy that set up the call was like, Bridger, I'm very impressed with your due diligence skills. The questions you asked were amazing. And after this is kind of the after meeting with this guy, he goes, man, how old are you? How much are you guys doing? I kind of told him my age and what I was doing. He goes, man, you were asking questions like anybody on Wall Street would ask. And it was funny because I had gotten decently good. I'm not perfect, but at due diligence. Oh man, I did not spell that right. Diligence, whatever it's spelled, dude. You guys try spelling in front of 300 people live on a Zoom call, okay? My team is always laughing at it because I suck at spelling on live calls. But due diligence, because I'd taken so many calls and deals. And so something I would recommend from you guys, and it's something I did. I'm just telling from personal experience. Take a lot of calls. Listen to pitches. What's cool is in Discord, actually, we have a full tab called the deals tab. People come and pitch deals in there. And they actually walk you through their deals. And you should ask the question of, even if it's a deal outside your category, why would I do that deal or not do that deal? And this is a muscle. This is the difference, by the way, how good your due diligence is between the worst and the best investors on earth. Really comes down to the quality of questions they ask during due diligence. That's it. Really, if you want to be the best investor on earth, best venture capitalist or whatever, they just ask better questions than you. And not just questions, but they do the research behind the questions and all that kind of stuff. But they essentially ask better questions than someone who's the worst investor on earth. That's really the biggest difference between good and bad investors, the quality of questions they ask. So this is the muscle that we need to, work out. You need to get on more calls. You need to be listening to more pitches. So what we do in Discord and Black Card is we have people come up and we have them pitch. We do this at pretty much every one of our events. We have people come up on stage, pitch me your fund. As a group, we're going to poke holes in this fund. What questions would you ask? How would you derive if this is fraudulent or not? What follow-ups would you get? What kind of made sure you had audits or certain type of underwriting done or certain type of cloud? Those are all essentially derived from questions, questioning their market. Why are you targeting this market in Alabama? Can you pull me the financial, whatever, metrics or demographics from that market? These are all just questions. The only difference between you and me and the best investor in the world is the quality of questions we ask. So back to the answer to this question. Sorry, it's a long answer. But that's the first steps I would take on this journey. And so what you need to do is get around proximity as power, being around the deals. Even if you're not doing the deals, being in the same room as the deals, being in Hawaii with the people that are doing the deals, being on Discord, that's why we're so big on community. That's why we throw Fund Launch Live, is so that us can get in the same room with other crazy people that want to build funds. Okay. If you tell your grandma or your girlfriend or whoever that you're trying to do a fund, most people have no idea what you're even talking about. They're like, that sounds crazy. That sounds dumb. It sounds like whatever. And what happens is you come to this cool little corner of the internet with us as the Wall Street rebels. And it's like coming home. It's like there's other crazy people like me and you that are like wanting to do crazy deals and stuff and like get into this game. And what happens is when you're around those type of people, you're the average of the 4 or 5 people you hang out with. When you start hanging out with those types of people, you start thinking bigger. You start thinking like, I could do more. I could get into bigger deals. I could ask better questions on my due diligence. Because, oh man, that guy asked a really good question. I was in a call one time and the guy asked, hey, what happens if you die? And the whole room went silent. And he said, yeah, you want whatever investment from me. What happens if you die? How do I make sure what happens to my money? And the guy wasn't prepared to answer that question. I was like, oh, I'm going to write that one down. I kept that one. I was like, I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to ask that one in the future. That's a pretty good question. And so I can go on and on about good due diligence questions, and they have questionnaires and other stuff, but how do you filter that? That's really even if you're doing a stock portfolio, questioning the current stock or company. Okay, I need to see this financial. How does this make sense? How do these, essentially just the quality of questions makes you a better or worse investor. That's where you start. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for the questions. Let's keep going. Okay. When a fund launches, can you continue to raise money, or do you have to create the maximum you're going to raise? I think the latter, but want to be sure. If a fund is raising 100 million max, is there a maximum time period that you can keep raising money for that fund? Great question, Ray. So the answer is it depends on you. You can decide, which is pretty cool. Okay, with funds. So there's 2 different types of funds. There are open-ended and close-ended funds. So you have, I'm gonna do closed first, closed, and then I'll put open down here, open funds. Okay. A close-ended fund does something like this. They're going to raise, let's say we're going to raise $100 million, like your example. Okay. 100 million. This would be, let's call it a real estate fund. And we're going to do this on a 7 to 10 year fund. And it's close-ended. So here's let's call this 10 years. This is year 0. We're going to raise this money. Here's our years here. Okay. I'll do green for the money. Okay. So we have 18 months to raise that money. Okay. So we're going to go start raising. Now what happens is, let's say the first 6 months we raise $20 million. Okay. What we can do, which is cool, is we can actually we do what's called a closing. We can start deploying capital. We can actually start buying buildings, and we keep raising money. And so we keep raising for the next 6 months. We do another closing. We've now raised 50 million. And then we deploy in our second closing, and we do what's called a rebalancing of the fund, because new investors are coming in, we kind of rebalance it. And then we come here and we say, hey, our drop dead deadline is, here. And let's just say we came up short, just for your example. We only raised $70 million. Okay, so total of 70 million. But in our docs, our PPM and LPA, you usually set like a target minimum. These are your 2 docs. These are your expensive documents that you get. These are, $30,000 to $50,000 if you're not in Black Card. These are very expensive docs. But we'll say, hey, to launch this fund, we need to have at least $15 million of equity raised to start. Well, hey, our first closing, we raised 20. So we hit that, we can keep going. Our target's 100 million, but maybe we came up short. That's okay. We're still going to launch this fund. And then we actually close this fund at the 18-month mark at $70 million. Okay. Now we start buying. This is where we're buying and we're servicing properties. By here, we start selling. Maybe this is year 5 or 6. We start selling. And then we actually say in our documents, by year 10, we have to sell everything. But we're actually hoping to sell most things by like year 6. But in case there's a big market crash or a Great Depression or something, we can actually hold these assets to year 10 if we need to. Okay. Does that make sense? That's how most close-end funds. Oh, and last thing I'll share, while you're running this fund. So let's say this is your 18-month mark. Kind of give me a little line down here. Right here, you then launch fund 2. It's going to keep going. So fund 2, right as you close fund 1, you then start raising for fund 2. So now we're going to raise, I don't know, 200 million for fund 2. And then you have let's just call it 18 months to raise that. And so now you're pretty much always raising money. Okay. And then now this fund 1 is buying properties while fund 2 is raising money. Okay. And then fund 2 closes at 18 months. And then we launch fund 3. So fund 3 starts raising money, and we're going to raise 500 million for fund 3. Okay. So now fund 1 is probably starting to sell assets. Fund 2 is currently buying assets while fund 3 is raising. Does that make sense? And fund 1 is closed. Once it's closed, you can't get into fund 1. It's closed up. But hey, we got fund 2 coming out with the same strategy. We're going to do fund 2. Does that kind of make sense? That's how a close-ended fund works. I think my dad's funds, last time he told me, they had 117 funds open doing this. Okay. So you stack funds on top of each other. Does that kind of make sense? Funds, again, it's the long game. It takes a little bit to get going, but once it's going, it's really going. It's freaking awesome. Okay. That's a close-ended fund. An open-ended fund, you start a fund today and it goes in perpetuity. My hedge fund is an open-ended fund. Investors can join and leave at every quarter mark. So we can have investors flowing in and then maybe some investors withdraw. We have a lockup period. We have people have to come with us for at least 12 months. So you can join here, but you got to stay with us at least 12 months. And then, but if you want your money back, yeah, we can get your money out. Yeah, no problem. So it's called an open-ended fund. Most hedge funds follow an open-ended fund model where investors can come in and then come out because they're more liquid. Illiquid funds do close-ended models because you don't want a bunch of investors pulling out right here when they get nervous about the market. They're paying you as a fund, and you're then forced to sell a bunch of real estate properties, right, to get an investor out. A hedge fund's a little bit easier. You can just sell, percentage of your stocks to get money out. But with maybe a venture capital, it's a lot harder because you're investing in these companies. You're waiting for an IPO, and there's no liquidation event. And because there's no liquidation event, we have to lock up the money. And so in a closed-ended fund, you can't get your money out until we tell you get your money out. Or if you want to, it's maybe a 50% penalty to pull your money out. Okay, I have a whole video on open-ended and closed-ended funds. When you guys join the course, go get the course. This will break this. This is like one video of 20 videos on there about how funds work. Okay. So some of these questions, I might just say, go get the course or go join Discord. You guys get all the courses there. But this is kind of the stuff we talk about. But that's open-ended versus closed-ended funds. Yeah, good questions. Woo! Pull out my LaCroix. Anybody LaCroix fans? LaCroix? LaCroix? How do you say it? I don't know how to say it. I've said LaCroix before, but I think that's wrong. So I try to make it with a French accent. LaCroix. That's how I was in France actually a couple months ago. And anyways, I don't speak French. I speak actually Mandarin Chinese, but we always, like, French words are so long, but they sound really short. Like crepe. Like I wanted to get a crepe and somebody was like, oh, do you want a crepe? It's like, no, it's crepe. Like you have all the letters there. It's crepe. And they're like, no, you want a crepe? Like a crepe? Whatever it was. Anyways, I don't speak French. I like French people though. They're awesome. I just don't speak French. I wish I spoke French. So don't make fun of me. I got to add tones to it. I know, like Mandarin. LaCroix. 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 All right. Anyways, how do I book Hawaii, guys? Please. So yeah, once you join, I think Clint, if you're in Black Card, I don't know your last name, but I think Clint's in Black Card. In Black Card, we've been dropping the emails to you guys. It's in the Discord channel, just for Black Card members. You guys can go book Hawaii before it's all booked up. So, Clint, just make sure to message your account manager in Black Card. We've sent like 20 emails as well. They have all the link, but we'll probably drop another link today. as well. Maybe Mason and Andy, if you guys are behind the scenes over there, go drop the link in Black Card, the Slack channel or the Discord channel for people. You guys drink LaCroix. LaCroix. I know, it's funny. All right, let's go back to questions here. All right, during the 18 months, are investors that put money in getting paid any interest before properties are purchased? So typically you're not calling capital until you're ready to buy a property. That's another cool thing about funds. So let's say we raise $100 million. That's signed on paper, but they keep the money in their bank accounts. Let's say we got 100 million committed. It's called dry powder. Then me and you, we found a property for 20 million. Okay. So we're going to call down $7 million of capital from our 100 million. We're going to put a capital call on everybody pro rata, their percentage. We say, hey, wires are due in 10 days or 14 days. Wire your money in for 7 million. We have a bank that's going to finance the other 13 million. And we go buy our first property. And now the fund is 7% deployed. And then we find another property. Hey, we're gonna call down $20 million. So we call 20% of the fund down. We call 20 down. Everyone pays, send their wires in pro rata. And the IRRs, the management fees only start when the money is called. Because I don't want the liability. Just keep it in your business, in your account until I need it. That's how a lot of close-ended like real estate funds work. Hedge funds typically will just call all the money day one because they can then go and deploy it. So it depends. Can you use a new fund to buy from an older fund? Faram, you can, with a big asterisk. The problem when you're buying from yourself is, who are you a fiduciary to? And actually, me and my dad and brother have fought about this for a while, because my brother has actually done legal work for funds that have bought from each other or from themselves. So if you had, for instance, like you had fund one with a bunch of assets, and then you launch a new fund, fund two, and fund two wants to buy those assets, okay? And they're both your funds. In a court of law, if you got sued and the judge says, well, you're a fiduciary, meaning you're trying to do the very best for fund one, for the investors in fund one, right? You're a fiduciary to fund one, but you're also a fiduciary to fund two. And your job is to negotiate, get the best price possible. How are you getting the best price possible if you're on both sides of the deal? It's a hard question to ask. My dad says it's impossible. He's like, you can't. The answer is you can't be a fiduciary to both. Now, my brother has pushed back and said, well, he's like, I've done legal work on multi-billion-dollar funds that have sold assets to each other. What they do is they get a fair market evaluation and they have investors sign off on it. But still, he goes, what's fair market? In today's market, when you have a bid-ask spread that's so wide, whatever the deal comes out to, investors in fund two said, man, you could have negotiated better. Investors in fund one, man, why'd you negotiate? It's really hard. So in my opinion, I just say avoid it. Do not try to be on both sides of the table. I've had some people like, I'm going to sell assets into the fund. If you're going to do that, make sure your investors are the one getting the better hand of the deal. Okay. They're getting the leg up. So if you have your own assets and you're selling them to your fund or wholesaling them to the fund, maybe gifting them to the fund, whatever it is. If the fair, let's just call the assets are worth 100. You don't want to sell them to your fund for 102, right? I would sell them to the fund for 94 and say, hey, just to pay it forward, just to prove that I'm doing what's best for the fund, I gave you guys a 6% discount off of a fair market evaluation. I do something like that. That's just me though. Talk to a lawyer, make sure it's done the right way. Good question, you guys. Okay, let me answer some of these live. What's the software and hardware for the tablet? It's called an iPad. This is just the notes on an iPad, and I just share my screen on Zoom. Pretty cool though. Apple, got to give to Apple. I'm a big Apple guy. I got converted a few years. I was a big Microsoft guy. I got the iPhone, and then I got the watch, and then I got the computers, and I got all the computers, all the iPads. I got the headphones. I got everything, dude. Anything Apple sells, I pretty much buy it. I've been converted as an Apple junkie. If Apple buys Disney, by the way, they're in talks apparently, that would be insane. But get this though, Apple's market cap is about 3 trillion. This is crazy. Okay. This is Apple. Disney. I just pulled it up, right? I was just sharing you the slides earlier. Market cap of about 150 billion, which is that's a big company. But to put this in perspective, that's about 5% of Apple. Isn't that crazy? You could buy 20 Disneys with Apple. That's how big Apple is. They're 20 times, and Disney owns Marvel and all the Star Wars stuff and all the theme parks and on 21st Century Fox and all like Hulu, ESPN. They own like everybody. And they are 1/20th the size of Apple. Is that just weird to anybody? Is it just me? I don't know if that's weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just strange to me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if that deal goes through. That'd be a big deal. I wonder if they'd have some antitrust stuff on it, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of crazy. It was pretty crazy. So we'll see. All right. Let me hit some more of these questions. What's up, you guys? Man, you guys have been on here for a long time. I've been on here a long time. Man, I'm running out of juice. I'm making weird comments, about LaCroix and all this kind of stuff. No, I'll stay on here though. Can you combine different asset classes into a single fund? Good question. The answer is yes. So if you had now, should you do that? In my opinion, no. But there's people that do this. They have real estate. This is their fund. They do like real estate, they do crypto, and they do, I don't know, whatever else, commercial or something, real estate. So sorry, commercial, this would be like multifamily. Can you do this? Yes. What's cool about funds is you write the Bible. You get to write the LPA and the PPM, which are your two big legal docs. Okay. Now, the problem is you're going to try to convince an investor, right? Let's say I'm pitching you. Hey, so I've got this fund that's coming out. We are absolute experts. We've found the best people on earth. We are amazing at multifamily real estate. So let me sell you on multifamily, all these cool things, Sharpe ratio. It's amazing. It's the best asset class, all this cool stuff. But also, okay, we're experts at multifamily, but we are also experts at crypto. We are incredible at crypto. Our team is just amazing at crypto. That's all we do. We're just incredible at crypto. Oh, and by the way, we're also incredible at commercial real estate. Like we are absolute experts. An investor's going to be like BS. He's going to call it. Like there's no way you're an expert at all three of these asset classes, right? Now, so usually it's a little bit, I think, harder to raise money and convince an investor you're an expert at all three. Can you do it? Yes. In my opinion, is it hard to raise capital? Yes. Now, there's a few funds I've seen that have done these kind of mixed purpose. They have a theme. So one is like, recession resilient. I've seen this before where they say, hey, we only buy things that are recession resilient. We buy like, I don't know, mobile homes, and we buy multifamily, and we buy, I don't know, whatever else is recession resilient. I don't know, bonds or something, kind of a multi-strategy thing that helps produce a yield. And you can kind of say it's one thesis. The thesis is anything recession resilient, and that could work. But again, okay, you're experts at mobile home parks, and you're experts at multifamily, and you're experts at bonds. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, right? It's still a little bit of a hard sell. So I'll end that question with that. But again, you can do it though. Totally can do it. By the way, people are asking about, let me just share my screen here. How are we doing? Wow, we got a lot of people still on here. This is great. You guys having fun? Give me a yes if this has been worth your time to come on today's call. Give me a yes. Give me some love in the chat if this has been worth your call, or worth your time. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. It's fun to have you guys and hang out. By the way, a bunch of you guys networking in the chat. It's totally no problem with me. If you want to come, though, Discord, that's what we built Discord for, is to network and like meet people. That's the whole goal of Discord, is to come on and meet incredible people and do what we're doing on this Slack channel. Like when you join Discord, actually have the chance, right? When you join, the first thing I tell you to do is come introduce yourself. Everyone can come in, introduce yourselves, what you're doing. You can message people. What I tell people, by the way, when you join, go follow. Hey, like this is Chad. He just joined. He joined Black Card. He's a Black Card member because you can see his yellow badge. He's in Black Card. Man, this guy might be a good guy to meet. What I'm going to do is go reply to Chad. Hey, Chad, welcome in. Hey, I'm good at X, Y, and Z. Here's my Calendly link. I'd love to hop on a call for 15 minutes to get to know you. Love to make a connection. Pretty cool. This guy's already paid a good amount of money to join Black Card, and he's, someone that's doing all this cool stuff. That's the guy I want to meet, right? Come down here to Charles. Hey, everyone, warm welcome. If you're in it, like, hey, I want to jump on a call. Oh man, he's already doing this. Charles wants to talk to you. You can go out and actually click on Charles' name. Okay, he's a Black Card member. He's in crypto. He's in the Southeast. Man, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to spend 30 minutes with Charles to make a connection and maybe nothing comes of it. But we've actually seen, it's funny. I was talking to Pace Morby. He's like, in my group on average, and I think this is actually more for our group. He goes, the average connection should be worth to you about $70,000 over the next 10 years. Each connection you make, because we're doing deals. I want to do business with you guys. So imagine that's a $70,000 phone call right there. That'd be worth your time, right? Ed Milet came to our event and talked about the power of one more phone. It's funny. A lot of us are literally one connection away from that next big breakthrough in your business. Literally think about in the past. A lot of times it was one, maybe two connections that got you to where you are now. It was that one person you knew that got you that job or got you to that university or got you that connection that led you to whatever it was. Or maybe you met your spouse because of that one person that introduced you guys. A lot of us, we don't believe it. Well, we are literally one connection away from that perfect relationship or that dream job or that company you want to run or whatever you're trying to build. We're really sometimes only one or two. Now, oftentimes it takes 50 connections to find the one that was worth it. But if you never do the 50, you won't find the one. And so what I tell people is come in here, start shaking hands, start meeting people. And what happens is you make 50 and maybe all 50 won't be applicable right now, but they might be applicable over the next 10 years because you have different seasons and times and seasons of people when you're supposed to meet them and do things with people. And all of us are literally one good introduction. Imagine if you made an introduction to someone that was like, a huge capital allocator. And actually, it's kind of cool. I had somebody message me just 2 days ago. I went to an event, by the way, last week, boardroom, and I don't usually do this. I got on stage. I did this whole presentation. I said, hey, I'm really impressed by this group. I literally gave out my phone number to the entire group. I just said, here, do you guys want my personal phone number? And everyone's like, really? And I said, yeah, don't spam me. I don't do loans. I don't want to, whatever. But if you want to do business together, let's see what happens. And I just said, it was about 300 people. So I just gave out literally my personal phone number. And I said, text me your contact card. I want to get to know you. And lo and behold, somebody texted me yesterday. Hey, Bridger, I was in the group. I love to have you there. It was good to meet you. I have a bunch of capital allocators out of the Middle East. They're trying to deploy anywhere from $20 to $100 million each. There's about a few dozen of them. I'd love to connect you with them to help you raise money. I was like, wow. Pretty interesting, right? Like you don't expect that to happen until it happens. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. So, yeah, there you go. We've already built a community of people that are paying, not freebies, people that have paid to be there, that want to meet with you, that are interested in funds. That alone is a good qualification for just getting your feelers out there. Secondly, what we can do is people in Black Card, they've paid a good amount of money to be in Black Cards. It's not cheap by any means. Black Card is not a cheap program. They paid a good amount of money to be there. Their names are yellow. Go connect with Black Card members. Or if you're in Black Card, connect with other Black Card members. That's the reason it's a decent price is because again, it's a gap. Me and Mason joined a group. It's $150,000 for 1 year to join. 150 grand. That's like it's a nice car. That's a down payment on a good house, But what's cool is we joined and guess what? Everyone else there had also paid $150,000 to be there. Are these people I want to meet and talk to? Yes, of course. If somebody can write a check for 150 grand, I want to meet them. It's the same thing's true with Discord or with Black or whatever. It qualifies people. It kicks out people that are tire kickers. Is that kind of making sense? So that's why this is so massive. So again, Mason just dropped that link if you guys want to book a call and or join the Rebel Insider group. That's why we do all this stuff, is to help us get together and for you guys to meet each other and it's just a muscle. Guess what? You're probably going to suck on the first call you take with just a random person in the group. You're going to be awkward. You're going to be weird. You're going to be, I don't know what to say. But guess what? If you're going to, and all of us suck the first time we try to meet somebody or introduce ourselves. But guess what? If you keep doing it, you'll probably suck less. And then you'll suck a little bit less and you keep sucking less and less until maybe you're kind of good. Until you're really good. And then you're excellent. Everyone that does anything typically is terrible at the beginning, but they start and they get moving and they suck so little that till they're kind of maybe a little bit good. Okay. That's what I'm challenging you to do. I know if you're an introvert, I don't like talking to people. I don't, whatever. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. Start shaking people's hands. Start meeting people. Start hopping on 15-minute calls. Don't just drop your LinkedIn. Oh, this is me. Come figure me out. Find me on LinkedIn. Okay, whatever. Actually meet people. Look them dead in the eye. That's why I went to Austin. We had 50 people show up, and I shook every single person's hand in Austin. I want to meet them. I want to hear about their business, what they're doing. I want to do real business, not just like, hey, and I do this online because it's just a broad, come follow me on Instagram, whatever. But I actually want to meet you guys, like you. That's why we do our event in Hawaii. I want to meet you. I want to actually shake your hand and look you in the eyes and, hey, how are you? What's your family like? Tell me about where you're from. Tell me about your business. Maybe we can do business together. Maybe I can help you out. Maybe I can make a connection for you. Because business is done with humans, with people. And that's why we're building this. It's not my community. It's our community of what we're building. And we're moving everyone to Discord for that reason, to give you guys more chances to meet each other. And we actually want to have you guys come live and like do calls and like we do networking calls almost every day right now inside the group to help you meet people and connect with people. There's a few people. I'm totally fine with you guys. There's some links. If you guys want to join right away, there's Malik. Brandon just dropped his links. You guys can choose, but there's a link you guys can join. I believe, and Mason, correct me if I'm wrong, but it puts them right in the group. So if you join on somebody's affiliate link, it bypasses all the waiting list stuff. You guys can join the group right away and you're in. So there they are in the link. Again, it's not as much about the money, and these guys, and again, you guys can go and join, and then you get an affiliate link too, and you can refer friends. We want to just have this as a community aspect. There's a no jerk policy, no bots, no whatever. We kick people out. And so you guys can go join right there. So this is pretty cool. Okay, I love it. So go click those links. And again, you can join in a 7-day trial too. So it's like, and if it's not worth $20, by no means, I don't want to take your money at all. The goal is though to make this as a hub for crazy people like me and you launching funds and doing syndications, doing deals. And guess what? I don't care if you're doing a fund right now or not, but I want the goal to be, maybe it's 1 year, 5 years, or 20 years, but you're going to start learning this space. You're going to start figuring this out. And it could be a fund. It could be you just helping a team do an M&A deal. There's so much money made around funds. Go look at the Forbes 100 list. It is riddled with fund managers. It is massive. Okay. It is massive. That's why, and we are pretty much the only community on earth doing this. Literally, we've looked. If somebody else was building this, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't host. I don't want to host webinars every day and do events. I don't do this because like we just woke up one day and wanted to do it. We do it because there's this gap that regular people need to learn and connect with each other in this space. It is so terribly hard to learn about funds. It is so terribly hard to learn this information. Go online. I promise you, go on YouTube, go on Google, how to start a fund, how to figure it out. What you'll get is a bunch of blog writers that have never launched a fund before. That were, I just got to write a blog and get clicks, and they don't actually, never done it. People on YouTube, there's pretty much nothing before us. We were the first people, anything on funds, you go to YouTube, we are the number 1, 2, and 3 videos on pretty much everything around how to start a fund, how to do a debt fund, how to do a private equity fund, what are closed-ended funds, how to help, like all the education around funds. And that's why we're building this community, is we need to help more of us. There's no community out there. There's nothing else. We are the only community on earth of people doing funds and syndications and doing big stuff. And so that's why we do it. So, anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of links. You guys got your links. Yeah, go click one of those links. You guys can join and you'll join right away. You guys get all that cool stuff on Discord. And yeah, we're going to Houston. It's actually a Black Card. So Black Card members, I kind of say no. I say no to some things, but I had a Black Card member reach out to me and say, I want to speak at my event. I've had a bunch of Black Card members want me to be on their show. I say yes, always. I'm like, yeah, dude, if you're a Black Card member, I'm in, dude. And so I'm speaking at a Black Card members event. It's a Thai. I think he has a few Black Card members coming out, but cool event in Houston that he's doing, which is really cool. And I'm excited to come speak at it. So I'll be there in a few. I think it's September 18th, something like that. Yeah. By the way, you guys that have those Discord links, again, like I said before, feel free. I'm not going to turn, like, if you want to go on the Facebook group or my YouTube videos, if you go to YouTube videos, we haven't promoted the Discord at all. If you guys go in there in the comments and say like, hey, I'm part of Bridger's Discord. Here's an actual link. If you guys want to bypass the stuff, you can join right here. I'm totally fine with that. And I actually am on not even my channel. I go on a lot of interviews and speak at events. So I'm on a lot of other channels. If you guys want to do that, totally. I'm like, we close it on purpose. It is closed. And I want to send people to you guys. I want you guys to invite people and like they're friends of yours. And then guess what? You guys can meet them and have them join the group. So totally easy strategy for you guys to first off, and by the way, so just so you guys are aware, if you refer somebody to the group, you get half of their monthly fee. So if you refer 2 people, it pays for your fee for free. because it's $20 a month. So you get $10 per person that you refer per month. It's ongoing, like in perpetuity, which is pretty cool. So if someone joins under your affiliate, like if you get 2 people, you're now for free in the group. And then if you get 5 people, you're making money. So that's why, like, again, it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. It's more about building a community. I want you guys to join. So when you join, go get your affiliate link, bring in 2 people, and then you're for free. So I wouldn't worry about the money. I'll show you guys where the affiliate link is again. Let me go on here on Discord. So here it is. Get that echo going away. So when you join Discord, you'll have this kind of welcome channel. And by the way, watch the video. This actually walks through the whole thing. So come in here, read this whole thing. It actually walks you through. We have color codings for green is for general, red is for the Fund Academy members, and the gold is for Black Card members. This kind of walks through the whole thing. You can watch this video as well. Awesome video made by yours truly. Come on, right here. Give me a little like once you give me one of these right after you watch it. Okay. But you come down here, there's some rules right here though. Invite friends. Bam. This actually walks you through how to invite friends. Another video by yours truly. Come on. There you guys like, I'm so sick of watching Bridger. I know, I'm sick of it too. My wife's sick of it, dude. She's so sick of watching videos of me. But you come right here. Okay. Invite friends with affiliate code. So what you do is you go to WAP. So once you're in, you'll come right here. This should pull up Wall Street Rebel. All you do is you come and hit copy link. Ta-da. There is your link. So now you're an affiliate. That's that easy. Just make sure you're logged in. If you're not logged in, like you got to be, let me move this thing, signed into your account, which you should be once you join. It should create a little account for you. But WAP just tracks it all for us. And you get, that's literally it. Bam, there's your custom link. And so if you go to if you look at my browser, that has my unique ID on there. That's my ID that tracks just to me. And so if I drop that link, I won't, because I want you guys to be the ones inviting people. I won't drop my link. You guys can drop your link, but you can invite people. And literally, if you refer 2 friends, it's for free. And again, you get the custom newsletter, you get the private, all the AI tools, you get we're having people go live in there. It's pretty freaking awesome. We just launched this about 30 days ago and it's been a hoot. People have loved it. Oh, they couldn't see it. Oh, shoot. Oh, crap. All right, hold on. Here it is. Thanks, Mace. Okay, so here you are. Sorry. So you saw the Discord. When you click that link, it brings you right over to this. It'll bring you to WAP. It'll say your links here. Make sure sometimes it might have you log in or create an account or whatever. Make sure you're logged in. But you come right here, 50% recurring every month. You guys get this. Copy your link. That's it. You're done. You can go to your tab here. I'll copy it. And that's my unique link, I guess, right there. That'll track just to me. I won't drop that link anywhere. You guys can drop your links, but that's how you do it. Kind of cool. Okay. And this is it's not like an MLM. You don't get like downlines. It's just literally one tier of just referrals, just a referral link. But again, the whole goal of that is just to help, we want cool people in the group. We want people that are, doing deals that are going to be awesome, that know somebody when they join the group. And yeah, there you guys go. So grab that link and go from there. And again, feel free if you guys want to go in the Facebook groups or go on. Actually, this is brand new. So there's it's like a blue ocean. We have not promoted this at all, really. So if you come, YouTube channel, I go on a lot of podcasts every week, and I have like literally, I'm going to just share my screen. I'm just going to do it. If you guys want to build out a downline here, literally go to YouTube. And now I'll tell you what works and what doesn't work. So if you come here to YouTube, so type in my name, you'll see my videos. You can go to my videos as well. Let's see. These are all my videos. Let's get off my videos. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's say Bridger Pennington interview. How about that? Here you go. So I'm on these are ones still posted by me. Okay, this is like me on somebody else's show, right? There's a bunch of these, I'm an interview on someone else's show here. So you can come into one of these, and this one got 26,000 views. And what you do, again, if you just come and spam a link, no one's gonna click on it, okay? But I would say hey, I'm in Bridger's Discord. It's been and maybe say a few things about it, hey, it's been awesome. I've learned this, or I made this connection, or the Wall Street Rebel community is amazing. If you guys want to learn more or be a part of it, here's a link. I promise, this isn't spam. This is actually legit, kind of a language like that. If you just come in here and just drop a link, everyone's like, that's just spam, But if you come in here and say hey, I've been a member for a while, and kind of like a little testimonial almost. Like, this has been so cool. It's been awesome. I met these types of people. It's been such a unique group, like all kind of that kind of stuff. And then you can drop a link or just say, hey, message me. Maybe YouTube's not the right platform, but like Facebook, hey, message me if you want to, like, learn more or whatever. Kind of that kind of, by the way, it's a blue ocean right now. So you can come on here and just start, dropping kind of stuff on there. And what happens is if you come like and comment these videos get pushed out more, and then more people see it, and more people will see your link, and then go from there. So literally, if you did that for 20 minutes, you might just get some random people you don't even know to join too. So anyways, there you go. All right. How we doing, Brigham? Doing good? Woo! Been on here for a while. Like I said before, I don't drink energy drinks like ever. I drink a Red Bull. This is the mini Red Bull, as you can tell. It's not the big one. It's not the big monster. And you can tell I got some energy this morning. I've been a little sick the last few days, so drank the whole thing. I guess now it's gone. There you go. Thank you, Bridget. You guys are awesome. By the way, when you join Discord too, come in and introduce yourselves, meet people. That's what we're trying to do. So, all right. Final questions. Mason, maybe I'll ask Mason or Adam, any questions you guys saw in here that I should hit, or Brigham, that I should hit before we wrap up for the day? Has Discord replaced the app? Yes. Yeah. So we're moving the app. It's so funny. The app, even we'll keep our Facebook groups, but we're actually moving everyone to Discord. Facebook has been limiting our reach, and they've been like, you have to bait engagement. You can't get people it's just so annoying. Zuckerberg has killed Facebook groups. It's been really sad. So we're moving off of Facebook. We're moving off of our app. We're moving off of Slack. We're moving all of our channels to Discord. So it's one hub. It's funny. We have like 60,000 members of our community, but they're all scattered everywhere. And so we want to pull everyone to one hub where they can do deals, meet each other, do live calls, anything like that. It's pretty cool. So that's the plan on the Discord. Okay. Hey, Bridger, I have a program that supports nonprofits and charities earn money for their supporters by bringing in their bills. I feel like I can use this as a lead magnet to attract high value leads and raise capital. Yeah, you could. How would you go about doing that? Or who would I need to look to particular start making things happen? Should I ask you in Discord? I'm a member. I mean, you could drop that in the Discord group and see what people say as well. Let's see. I have a program that supports nonprofits and charities earn money from their supporters by bringing in their bills. So, with converting someone, if they're a charity, from someone that's putting money in as a charity, and I think the question is you want to do as a lead magnet to attract high value leads to raise capital. Yeah. So I would, again, I think raising capital is all about relationships typically. And so building your relationship with those leads that are coming in, and maybe it's free trainings, or it's some way that you can build rapport. Think about if you donated to a charity, okay, and you put money in through this charity or a nonprofit, and then all of a sudden you start getting pitched by all these things. That'd be kind of annoying, right? So maybe it's, hey, we're throwing a gala, or we're going to do a in-person event, or maybe a Zoom webinar, but we're going to educate about maybe this charity is around a certain sector of the market. Maybe you segment or allow people to, hey, you donate to charity. Do you also like to look at investments? Check this box and we'll send you more information about investments, or some way, shape, or form trying to build rapport. I think if you can get in person with those people, shake hands with them, maybe it's a gala, maybe it's a charity event night that you're doing, and just meeting people, throwing high quality events, and just asking them. I don't think you just spam people. You ask them, hey, would you guys like to hear, we have a bunch of cool investments coming across our table. Do you guys want to hear some of those? And maybe we start a side investment club. Just an ask, and people will opt in or out of that. Instead of just spamming people, I like to do stuff like that, kind of asking questions and feeling if that would work. That'd be one example. But maybe drop it in Discord as well and see what people say. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. We got 163 people still live. This is pretty awesome. You guys are amazing, dude. I love our community. I love all people that you guys show up and are so amazing. For that, you guys have stayed as long. Let's do a giveaway. I'm going to give away some money on here because you guys have stayed to the bitter end. All right. Does that sound good? We're going to give away $100 right now. This will pay for your whatever, for Discord. If you guys, let's just warm up the chat here. If you guys want to win $100, type yes in the chat. If you guys have stayed to the bitter end here through all the jokes, the bad jokes, and all the interviews we've done and everything. There we go, people in the chat. I love it. Yes. Now make sure you type into everyone, not hosts and panelists. Okay. But what we're going to do, we might do 2 giveaways here. Let's do 2 giveaways. All right. $100 to Amazon. All right. You guys can go spend on what you want. $100 to Amazon. What we're going to do is type in the chat a word, and I'm going to look through and just pick on somebody. Okay. And the next one we'll do a speed round. The first one we're going to do for this one. Okay. So type in the chat. What's a fun word? I guess we're talking about Discord. Type in Discord into the chat. Okay. We're moving everyone to Discord. So type in Discord. Again, you might be brand new to Discord, but I think it's going to be pretty fun. Type in Discord. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, there's a lot of people coming in. Let me grab somebody. Savannah D. Orazio. Savannah D. Orazio. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Savannah, congrats. You got $100 to Amazon coming your way, Savannah. So congrats. If you can, Savannah, send your email to Adam and or Mason. So like send them a private message with your email right now in the chat. And we'll make sure we have it. They're both panelists. Yeah, send us your email right there. I think Mason just sent you a message to Savannah. So send Mason your email, and he'll make sure to send you probably a virtual gift card to Amazon. Yeah, it's awesome. Someone's asking for a Discord link. If anybody wants to drop your Discord link, drop it in. Someone's asking for it. There's a couple people pretty quick. So any of those will bypass the waiting list. You guys can go just join right away. So you just choose who you want to pick on here. You can join their link here. Maybe any of those work. So those are all take you to the same Discord. That kind of the affiliate bypass everything else. All right. Congrats, Savannah. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do a speed round. I love doing these. First person to type in a phrase that I'm going to put in the chat, you got to type it in correctly. Okay. No guessing, Chaz. Okay. It's not Wall Street Rebels. No guessing. Okay. I know people have been on these webinars before. They know the phrases I do. I'm going to do a new phrase. Okay. You guys have never done this phrase before. All right. So how it works, got to make sure you're messaging to everyone, not hosts and panelists. It's got to be spelled correctly. I don't care about capitalization, but it's got to be spelled correctly. Okay. You can't just jumble on the keyboard, but it's first one wins $100. Okay. Speed round. I'm going to say a phrase, and you got to, again, capitalization does not matter, but you just got to spell it correctly and type it in. It's a public ledger, kind of like crypto, public ledger. We will all see who's first. Okay. So speed round. All right. You guys ready? Woo-wee. It's going to be a phrase. All right. You guys ready? Keyboards ready? I need radio silence on the chat. You guys ready? Here we go. The key phrase is, you guys ready? Here we go. Ooh. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. That was a long one. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. Okay. Woo. Hello. That was tough. I gave you guys a challenge on that one. It's usually way shorter than that. Okay, let me scroll up on the chat. Who did it first? Malik. I think it's Malik. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii with 2 A's though. No, it was almost correct. I said it was spelled correctly. So, okay, let me go to the next one. Ricardo. I will see you guys in Black Card Hawaii. It looks correct. I'm seeing Ricardo. Am I correct on that? You seen Ricardo? I'm getting a thumbs up. Ricardo, congrats, man. You got the $100. Let's just do Amazon again. Amazon's easy. $100 to Amazon coming your way, Ricardo. That was pretty fun. Willie was right after that. Leon, man, that was fast, you guys. That was a hard one. I made it hard for y'all. Okay, you guys are amazing. We actually will see you guys in Hawaii again. So send Mason your email. I'll give you a second there. Send your email. Final call. I don't know if any calls are still available. If you guys want to come to Hawaii, Mason will drop that link one more time. To Kauai. Yeah, we're going to Kauai in Hawaii. We're not going to Maui. And hearts and prayers out to Maui, man. That's been crazy. Direct energy weapons, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it was an inside job. Everyone's saying it's an inside job. I don't know if it's an inside job. I don't know. Was an inside job? Was Maui burnt to the ground? Was it just a wildfire? Who knows? We got a bunch of crazy stuff happening. Oh, Ricardo sent his thing in. Yeah, it's pretty wild there. So you guys are amazing. Yeah, it's pretty fun. So in Black Card, by the way, you prepay a year. Just so you guys, somebody's asking about Discord. So you prepay a year. That's part of your membership. Then after a year, you can just roll in. But a year, kind of, we give everyone when you join Black Card, you're in for at least a year, because we want to have enough time to like launch your fund with you. Discord is just month to month, just in general, but Black Card is like a year program, because we want to have you come to the 3 events. We want to work with you. We want to get your fund launched and by the way, it's not just a year. That's just to start. Most people, there's a lot of people in Black Card now in their 2nd or even 3rd, going on their 4th year, which is crazy in Black Card, which is pretty cool. So I know all the Hawaii comments are coming out. The power company was predicted. I know, it's crazy. Oprah Winfrey wanted the land. I know what's going on. Okay. I know what's going on. I watch the news. And so, okay, grab that game plan call. Welcome to Discord. We'll do live calls in there. Just watch the chat. Go in. By the way, if you just joined Discord, welcome in. Go and introduce yourself on the introductions channel. Go introduce yourself. And then if you can, make a Calendly link and go meet other people in Discord. Say, hey, I'm brand new. I'd love to meet you. What I would say, by the way, I wouldn't just say like, hey, I just want to meet you. Type something like this. Hey, Ricardo, really cool. I looked at your stuff. I'd love to connect with you. I'm good at A, B, and C, or I have a background in A, B, and C. I'm looking to connect with somebody doing X, Y, and Z. Would love to chat for 15 minutes. Just get to know you, see if I can help you out in any way. Lead with a giving mindset. Okay. Lead with like, hey, how can I help you? If you hop on those calls and try, this is all I need. Like, I need this. That's a terrible way to join any community or any friendship. Join with, how can I give? Hey, I just want to help you out. Is there a connection I can make for you? Is there someone in my network that I can introduce to you? Have that kind of mindset. And so if you do that well, you'll meet some really cool people in Discord and Black Card. But come on in. And by the way, last thing I'll say, we're planning right now a virtual fund launch live. What? In about 2 months, just for our Discord members. So you can buy tickets outside, but Discord members, it will be for free in Discord. What? And you guys will get discounts to our event tickets and all that kind of stuff. You guys, for being in Discord, you get all these bonuses and perks. Right now, we're planning a virtual event, 1st week of November. This is the first time I've even said any of this. You guys are on the tail end of this. So I'm giving you all the cool stuff, but anyone in Discord gets to come for free. Tickets, I think, will be like $200 to $300 a ticket. But you guys will get it for free being in Discord. So boom, bada bing. Okay. It'll be a virtual fund launch live, which is pretty cool. You guys will also, with the book, you guys will get first access to like the drops on the book. Anything brand new, you guys will get access to. Like, that's just in general. Anyone in Discord will get first access to all the new stuff we drop. And then also you'll typically get discounts on everything or stuff just for free because you're part of Discord. That's kind of the plan. Okay. All right. Woo. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Last thing, you guys want to, this is what we should do actually in Discord or on Instagram or something. Take a picture right now of everybody. What we'll do is, if you guys can we do a gallery? Oh, we can't do it because we're on the webinar mode. We'll take a picture and make everyone feel FOMO because they didn't show up today. Okay. So if you can, grab a little picture on your phone and maybe post it in Discord or on Instagram, whatever. Tag me. I'll retag you. I'll share it back if it's Instagram or on Discord. But if you guys want to take a photo right now or take a little video, and we'll make everyone feel like they're super FOMO. But like, you guys missed out. We had 4 fund managers that managed a total of $300-400 million come on today, which is amazing. You guys showed up. We gave away a bunch of money at the end here. We launched all this new stuff, and we talked through Q4 updates, where the market's moving right now, which is pretty fun. And write in, if you guys can, right now, drop in the chat for me your biggest takeaways from today's call. What was something that like stood out to you? Was anybody have a big takeaway? Something that was fun today? Something, or not even just today, but in general from the group, previous events we've done. Type in the chat for me. Actually, I'm curious, you guys, biggest takeaway from today and or previous calls we've done and things that we've talked about. If you guys have been on today, it looks like calls are gone, by the way, which is crazy. But yeah, type in your biggest takeaway. And I love to we'll make people feel a little FOMO if they didn't show up today. This is what love looks like. I love it. Great energy. Everything was fire. Will you post recordings to Discord? Yeah, Discord will have the recording of this call. Yeah. Love the state of the market. Yeah, really cool. Learning how to leverage money with funds. I really love the way you simplified the closed-end versus open-ended funds. The Discord space, too many to list that funds exist. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Y'all don't have to do this, but you get to, and we are thankful. That's awesome. I love it. Take action ASAP. Kevin saying start now. Nah, he would be a 9-figure fund had he started earlier. I thought it was pretty cool. That was a cool takeaway. Had accessible heavy hitters can be. Biggest takeaway, first time on a call, always starting earlier. Gotta start fund soon. Definitely need to build up my LinkedIn presence. Bridger, can you please share how to grow small fund? I have $150,000. I've been running for a few years by myself. Join in Discord or go take that free, even the free course, but in Discord, we have the full courses, how to do your first deal and how to scale that to a fund. I built a full, it's like 12 video course on that exact thing you guys all get for free in Discord. So I'll answer that question in another video. A new level to managing wealth, top-notch community. I love it. If you want to rewatch recording already, cool. Okay, I love it. Thank you guys for throwing that and take a couple pictures, post it, and like join Discord and then post like, yo, like, you know, make everyone feel jealous. Maybe type in your biggest takeaway. It was so fun to hear about X on the call today. If you guys missed it, you missed out. Give people a little bit of FOMO if they didn't show up today. We actually had a really good show out, though. I think most people showed up today, which is pretty cool. But for the fringe people that didn't show up, we'll make them feel a little bit of FOMO. Okay, y'all are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Go do good in the world. Go help someone out. Call someone that you maybe haven't called in a while. Talk to your grandma, your mom, your cousin, or somebody. Do something good in the world. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.